is swung on and hit in the air to right field deep. And you can't forget about this one. Blaze Salter hits number 5, and the Newport Gulls retake the lead.
This is the Newport Gulls pregame show, live from Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island.
Gone! A grand slam! Drew Luckbauer, right tower power, and the Gulls walk off in the 15th inning!
Coming up, interviews, stats, standings, lineups, and a whole lot more.
Tomas steps on the back for one out, throws to first, it is in time, a double play.
Pitch, breaking ball lifted deep to center field, and it is gone! A 2-run shot for Cody Hosey.
Taking a high drive, left field deep. Bolzano going back, looking up. This ball is a 2-run homer. T.J. Jones hits it out.
Stay tuned. The pregame show begins now on the NECBL Broadcast Network. In his first season covering Newport Gulls baseball, here's play-by-play broadcaster Stephen Huff.
Nearly every game was canceled last night in the NECBL due to rain, including the Gulls matchup against the Bay Sox in New Bedford. How you doing, everybody? I'm Stephen Huff, getting you set for tonight's matchup between the Newport Gulls and the Ocean State Waves here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Wednesday was the last time out for the Gulls, and they fell to the Danbury Westerners by a score of 9-4 here in Cardines. It was a rough go for the Gulls as they gave up 5 runs off 2 home runs, and en route to the Westerners' 9-4 victory. On the flip side of things, the Ocean State Waves are coming off a victory last night. That's right, they've weathered the storm, and on a soggy field in South Kingstown, they ended up beating the previously unbeaten Mystic Schooners in a 10-3 win. Stay tuned. It's the second matchup in the Pell Bridge series on the NECBL Broadcast Network. The Gulls pregame show starts right now. Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's time for the front office report. I'm Stephen Huff, alongside the Gulls Director of Baseball Operations, Mike Falcone. And Mike, every time I look to you on game day, you're running around the stadium, you're on the phone, you're making sure all the signs are up on the stadium, you're making sure everyone's in their places. You have to be the busiest man here in Rhode Island.
No, it's a lot going on each and every day. It's just a different crew that comes in when it comes to sponsors, your honor guards, your national anthem. So you want to give everybody the best possible experience. So you want to make sure that when they're in the ballpark, everything's running smoothly.
Now it's your 3rd year in this role, 4th year overall with the Gulls. How's that experience that helped you manage all these moving parts?
I'm still learning. I mean, each and every year it's getting a little bit easier because just knowing what's going on, maybe what to expect from time to time. But every year is a learning curve. It's a different team. It's a different internship team. So reteaching everybody and learning as I go it's helped me. It's definitely helped me being, but still a long way to go.
So what's your favorite part being here in Newport for the past 4 years with the Gulls? Is it watching everything work on game days? Is it building these teams, seeing all of them succeed on the field? What's your favorite part?
It's got to be the family nature of it. Everybody's just so tight-knit from day one. I love being involved in the community. Tonight we got Little League night. It's not even, it's 4:30. We already got 50 Little Leaguers ready to go on the field, chomping at the bits to go meet these guys. So just being involved in Newport and the community. I mean, we sent some guys over to all the middle schools and the elementary schools, and just kind of being involved. Because I'm from Long Island, I'm from New York, so this is out of my kind of community as well. So it's nice that everybody has embraced me and allowed me to be a part of it.
The family atmosphere and community. You got to love that answer. Mike Falcone, everybody. Gulls pregame show continues next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Nick Bell here with Sam Jacobsack. Now, Sam, your last outing, 5 strikeouts, no earned runs. What was working for you that game?
Definitely the fastball. I commanded it really well. I threw only probably 3-4 breaking balls the whole 2 innings, so the fastball is definitely the way to go.
And now you've had 2 great outings here in Newport so far. How do you look to continue that success going forward?
I think the biggest thing is throwing strikes. You get free bases, just you run into trouble. So pound the zone, and hopefully every outing's the same.
And so you grew up in Milton, Massachusetts, not far from here, but it's still pretty far.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up there as a young person?
I mean, it was great. I mean, right outside of Boston, it's a great area. Baseball's huge around there. It's a great. I went to Milton High. I didn't go to public. I went to public school. So yeah, it was a great area to play baseball and play other sports.
What other sports did you play?
I played golf and I played basketball in high school.
Okay, and you go to school in Northeastern, which is a hard school academically. So what's it like balancing academics and being a baseball player?
I mean, it's hard especially because you're in the Northeast team, so you're always traveling in the beginning. But we have great academic advisors. You work hard, and it all evens out towards the end.
And now you're here in Newport for the summer, which is something that most college kids would love to be in. So what do you plan on doing here this summer?
Hit the beach a lot. I already hit the beach last week. Forgot my sunscreen, so I got a pretty bad burn. So I'll remember sunscreen next time. But throughout the whole year, mostly beach and golf.
Which beach did you go to around here?
Second beach is the one that I heard to go to.
I definitely agree with that. That's probably the best beach here in Newport. Sam, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the pregame show continues next on NECBL Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Gulls pregame show here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's time for the Coach's Corner. I'm Stephen Huff, joined alongside by the Gulls hitting coach Jim Sorrow. And Coach, you were the head coach of the Ocean State Waves the past few seasons, took them to the past 2 NECBL championships. What's it like coaching against your former team?
Well, I have a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys back from that team that went to the finals the last couple of years, and you know, they were good guys, hard-working guys, and you know, we won a lot of games together, and it's a tough thing, you know, because we established relationships in the summer when you spend all that time together, and it's tough, but still, you know, we're going to coach hard over here and try and do our best.
Well, now you're in Cardines, and we were talking the other night. A lot of people think it's a left-handed ballpark for hitters. You said not so much. It could still favor right-handers. You want to expand on that a little bit?
Well, the right center power alley it's probably 300 feet away. So if we just let the ball get deep and we're on time, we can take advantage of that. And down the line is 280 feet. I mean, so these guys are big, strong guys, and they all know how to handle a bat. So we're just trying to get them to be on time, see the ball deep, and hit the ball where it's pitched, basically. Don't try and yank everything left field because you don't have to here.
So some of the hitters are off to a slow start. Obviously, it's a long season, ton of athletes, ton of talented players on this team. What are you telling them to help their approach and help them get into a groove for the summer?
We're telling them to not press, you know what I mean? We're telling them to relax their body. We're trying to show them how to relax and basically just get their foot up on time. You know, a lot of times the kids get here, they're swinging the wood bats with all the tar on it. It's a little heavier. So they try to swing it with their chest instead of staying in their legs. And in order to do that, you got to get your foot up on time. And if they do that, they'll be able to stay in their legs better and they'll have more success.
All right. Good luck tonight, Coach. First pitch between the Gulls and Waves at 6:35 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. It's time for the Broadcasters Roundtable here on the Gulls pregame show. Stephen Huff alongside Nick Bello, the field reporter for the Newport Gulls, on my left, and Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, on my right. And Nick, we're going to turn to you first. I know we talked about how consistent this pitching has been for the Gulls so far in this season. They kind of fell apart against Danbury on Wednesday. What happened? Is this something that's going to continue for Newport?
Yeah, it's just a little bit unfortunate. You know, they came through with 2 big home runs late in the game. But it's definitely not something to worry about, I think, because they've been pretty consistent from the start. So definitely not something to worry about.
And then how about the hitting? Slow to start, but as I was talking about with Sorrow later in an interview, this team is full of athletes, full of tons of talent. They're going to figure it out eventually, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like last year, they started off with great hitting, but kind of bad pitching. This year, it's the opposite. So I think they'll turn it around midway through the season, to be quite honest with you.
We're going to volley it on over to you, Tim. With the Ocean State Waves, they just beat the previously undefeated Mystic Schooners. What do you like about their season so far or the game last night?
Well, I mean, they're hitting the ball, then they're walking. They walked 10 times last night against Mystic. And, I mean, they're just hitting the ball. They have a team average almost around 300. And they're putting the balls in play, and they're making the defense work, and they're getting on base.
Offense can certainly win games. Looking at the lineup tonight for the Waves, what do you like about their lineup?
Well, you got to like Casey Danny. He's hitting 360 on the year. He's got 3 doubles, 1 home run, and half of his hits are extra base hits.
Well, first pitch between the two come up at 6:35. Don't go anywhere here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Once again, here's Stephen Huff and the Newport Gulls broadcast team.
Welcome in, everyone. We're here from Cardines Field for the second matchup in the 2019 Pell Bridge Series. It is also Little League night here at Cardines for everyone getting their free American flags courtesy of Sons of the Revolution. Of course, these two teams have met off already once before in the season. Stephen Huff alongside the field reporter for the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello, and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce. Thank you both for joining me here tonight. Newport coming into this one 2-3, while Ocean State coming into this one 3-4. Last time out for came out against Danbury and ended up falling by a score of 9-4. And it was a tough outing for Newport as Art Hogan was on the mound with 5 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, struck out 6, which was a highlight, but gave up 2 walks along the way. So he started to minimize those walks, which was a goal of his, but really the long balls was a tough part for him, which he didn't obviously wanted to do. And then another problem for the Gulls, pitching struggles continued as Mackenzie Stills came onto the mound. He had 3 innings pitched, started off good, but then gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, and those really came later in the innings. I believe it was his 3rd inning on the mound when he gave up all those hits in a row, and that's when he started to struggle. And then Sam Jacobsack, it was the one highlight on the mound for the Gulls. Sam Jacobsack in his outing, 2 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, no runs, and struck out 5. So Nick, I'll turn to you. He was the highlight for the Gulls.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to him before the game, too. Very confident kid, very smart kid. Goes to Northeastern. But he's been phenomenal so far here in Newport. 2 games, no earned runs, and 7 strikeouts, I believe. So Sam Jacobsack has really been the star out of the bullpen here for the Gulls.
Offensively for the Gulls, they got 8 hits, but they struck out 12 times, left 8 on base. The bat's just slow to get going so far. Strikeouts have been a problem, and it showed against the Westerners. And frankly, they were just out hit, couldn't get the men around and get scored.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of teams in an NECBL and in summer collegiate baseball have to adjust to. They're going from metal bats to wooden bats, so that's definitely a different adjustment. You can't get as much power, you can't get as much pizzazz off the bat that you can with a metal bat. So I think that might have something to do with it, and it's early in the season. These guys are just getting used to each other, just getting used to the new feel of a new team and a new place. So it's something that I probably wouldn't worry about too much.
So looking at other things on the other side of things, Ocean State coming into this one, like we said, 3-4, coming off a win over Mystic last night. Looked like you guys might get ran out just like the rest of the NECBL. They ended up playing the game, and they beat the previously unbeaten Schooners and by a score of 10-3. Impressive victory.
They walked 10 times in that game, and most of those walks came around to score. They were able to put balls in play, and the balls that they did put in play, they did damage on, and they made those walks come back and bite Mystic.
And then your season so far, 3-4, kind of up and down, but you said the hitting is successful so far.
The hitting has been here. The hitting has not been an issue. We've been scoring runs. It's been the pitching that hasn't, not to say hasn't been able to hold a lead, but they've been giving up a run for every 1 run that we get as well at this point in the season. But last night they did a better job giving up only 3 runs. Liam Dvorak going 4 1/3 innings pitched, the most A-Wave has pitched this year, and Anthony Larico going another 3 2/3 to bridge it to the 9th for the Waves relief.
So looking at this matchup, these two teams did play already. Like I said, they faced off this past weekend, actually. Newport took the first game by a score of, I think it was
12-7?
12-7. Yeah, you're right. It was a good matchup at first, and then walks kind of became the problem for the Waves. Couldn't really find the zone. It was a tight zone, so you can't blame the pitchers too much for Ocean State. Then walks kind of got away from them, and then Newport just tacked on the runs late.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the story of the Wave season this year. It's been walks and hit by batters, not necessarily errors, but it's been free bases that have been biting the Waves this year that has made them give up those runs that aren't runs, but they're runs that shouldn't be scoring.
So a bunch of free bases that you guys are kind of leaving out there. We'll get to the free pitch, to the pitcher on the mound for you guys in a little bit. Who was pitching last night for you guys?
That was Liam Dvorak. He's from Holy Cross. He was able to go four and a third inning, the longest the Wave has pitched this year. They've gone 4 innings. Every starter's gone 4 innings so far. But he was able to only walk 2 batters and make the hitters work, not giving them those free bases that they haven't earned.
And then, of course, you guys won 10-3. When we faced off last weekend, it was more of a bullpen day. Do you expect to see some of those arms out of the pen once again?
I mean, yeah. Thad Harris is only expected to go about 4 innings. You would imagine. And you'd see 1 inning, maybe 2 innings if they have a good inning. But, yeah, you'd expect a bullpen day again.
In that first matchup between the Gulls and Waves, it was Kyle O'Neill starting for Ocean State. He went 1 1/3 innings pitched, followed by Jake Walker, Monty Horn, Peyton Dietz, Corey Sawyer. And then you saw Ibsen on the mound and Kyle Brennan. So you guys really ran through the bullpen in that one. So I'm sure we'll at least see some familiar faces out there for Ocean State. On the flip side of things, Mackenzie Stills cannot pitch tonight for Newport. Neither can Art Hoven because he pitched last night, and nor can Pat Maybach, who was actually in the game against Ocean State. He actually came in relief, He pitched 3 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, but did strike out 5 against the Waves. He still cannot pitch because he pitched quite a bit. And with the new rules in the NECBL, you have to have a certain amount of days off before you can pitch again.
He earned the win that night, I believe.
He did earn the win, and so it's a successful outing, and they're going to give him a couple days off before they throw him again. As we get set here, beautiful night here in Newport. One of the better days for baseball after such an awful one yesterday. Almost every single game, of course, other than your guys' was canceled yesterday in the NECBL.
And we didn't start till almost 8:30 last night.
Now, you had the delay. Did you have another delay during the game, or just the delay at the start?
Just the delay before the game. We had pushed the start time back to 7 o'clock, hoping we'd maybe get the field ready. We took BP at URI, but we ended up not being able to start till about 8:24 was the official start
So
time.
nearly a 2-hour delay before. And I saw your social media feed, you guys scrubbing the field pretty much clean of all the water.
Yeah, we tarped the night before coming home from Martha's Vineyard, but obviously the outfield's still wet, and pulling the tarp, water got on the outfield as well. So
it looked like an absolute mess, but you guys weathered the storm, and like I said, won 10-3. Now you guys have a temporary fence out there in Ocean State. Adds a little bit of character.
Yeah, that fence is actually 30 feet back this year out in right field. It was 300 last year. Now it's up to 335.
Up to 335. Wow.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it was actually pushed back.
Yeah, it was a short. It used to be a short fence.
So just a small porch in right field last year. Now it's pushed back to 300. How about in left?
Left, it's about 330 as well.
330 as well. Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to send it down to the field for the national anthem quickly and then come back afterwards.
Here to perform tonight's national anthem is students from St. Michael's Country Day School.
national anthem tonight sung by St. Michael's Country Day School. Beautiful job here for Little League night at the field here in Cardines in Newport, Rhode Island. I don't know if we got a shot of the flag by the warehouse, but there looks to be someone on top of the warehouse. Adds a little bit of entertainment on top.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to happen a lot throughout the season.
Thank you, folks.
You see a lot
Folks, let's give these Little Leaguers on the field
And Nick, you
a
were
big hand.
You were actually on top of the warehouse last year. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point in some broadcast. But what we're going to do, we're going to look through the visitors lineup. Tim, I'm going to turn to you. Looking through Ocean State's lineup, I know they have a lot of heavy bats. Take us through it really quick.
Well, thank you, Stephen. Leading off will be Joe Simone. He's playing center field this evening from Rider University. Batting second will be the 40th round draft pick of the Pirates, that of Mr. Elijah Dunham, playing left field. Playing third base, number 28, Casey Dana, who we mentioned previously in the pregame show. Batting fourth will be the right fielder, Garrett Hodges, wearing number 23 out of Kennesaw State University. The designated hitter this evening, number 10, Nick Elson. He hit a home run against Martha's Vineyard. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 13, Xavier Vargas from the University of Rhode Island down in Kingston. Batting seventh, the catcher, Daniel Sears, a native of Canton, Georgia, also from Kennesaw State University. Batting sixth, the redshirt sophomore from Southern Mississippi, playing second base, Will McGillis. And rounding out the Waves lineup, the switch hitting shortstop from Indiana University, Justin Walker.
Pitching against the Ocean State Waves will be the rising junior, just finished his sophomore year at USC, Brian Gursky this spring for USC. He had a 9.82 ERA through 22 innings pitched. He gave up 26 runs, 24 of them earned, while striking out 18 batters and giving up 15 walks. But he did pitch against Keene already for Newport. He went 3 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned, while walking 2 and striking out 5. So he had an interesting spring for the Trojans out there in California, but he bounced back and had an excellent outing his first time through for the Gulls. But taking a look at the Gulls lineup now, offensively leading it off, back up top for the Gulls is Scott Holzwasser, playing second base from Northeastern. Following him is the third baseman from Bryant, Jake Gustin. Hitting in the third hole is Hudson Haskin of Tulane and playing center field today. Following him is the cleanup man and designated hitter from Quinnipiac, Colton Bender. Ryan Tours will be batting fifth from Villanova and playing first base tonight. In the sixth hole is Austin James from Missouri, and he'll be playing shortstop. Saeed Walker will be playing right and from Michigan State. Following him is Peter Ceruto batting eighth, and he'll be in charge of duties behind the dish. And in the 9 hole is Greg Cavalieri from the URI, and he'll be patrolling down the line in left field. Now looking over on the other side of things, who's going to be on the mound for Ocean State?
Well, toeing the rubber tonight for the Waves will be Thad Harris. He has only pitched once on the young season. That was the Waves opening night against New Bedford. He did not record the win in that, as he only went 4 innings, but the Waves did win 4-3. Harris went 4 innings pitched. He gave up 2 runs, 1 of which were earned, only allowing 2 hits, not walking a batter, but only striking out 2. And so far on this year, opponents are only hitting 143 off of him, and his ERA is 2.25.
Taking a look at our umpires tonight, home plate umpire will be Will Bowers, and our field umps are Tony Letizio and Keith Peters. Now taking a look at the weather tonight in Newport, we said it's a beautiful sunny day, and that it is 69 degrees. Now there is a 14-mile-per-hour wind coming out of the west-northwest area, but it still feels like 69 degrees outside, so absolutely beautiful first pitch.
That wind is blowing straight out to right field this evening.
And you know, a lot of people do think it's a left-handed hitter's ballpark, and with that wind, you're right, it is tailing out to right field. It might help them out a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Of course, the dimensions, it does favor some of these hitters. 315 to left center, 365, 395 to dead away center, 340 to right center, and 285 to right. So with that wind blowing out to right, that 285, a lazy fly ball plus 14-mile-per-hour wind might make it a little bit too easy out there.
Yeah, we could be seeing a lot of home runs tonight.
A lot of home runs indeed, potentially. Of course, there are some heavy hitting hitters for the Gulls that are left-handed. Ryan Tours comes to mind. Greg Cavalieri, switch hitter, might have a little bit of pop in his bat. He's more of a singles guy, maybe could bring around some doubles at the bottom half of the lineup. His 2 hits on the year are doubles, and of course in the Waves lineup, we talked so much already at the top of this broadcast about how powerful their bats are. They scored 10 against the undefeated Mystic Schooners, so I'm sure they have some left-handed bats that could pull it down the line.
Definitely. Joe Simone, Garrett Hodges just come to mind, Elijah Dunham, Casey Dana. Unfortunately, he's right-handed, but still got the power in the bat. Justin Walker, the switch hitter, he'll be hitting right-handed for the most part of the game, though, with the lefty in Gorski on the mound. But
last time out against the Gulls, Garrett Hodges 1 for 5, but he had a home run and 3 RBI. Casey Dana, I was with your other broadcast partner, Andrew Whalen, and he talked about how Casey Dana's kind of that RBI guy.
He is,
and so
yes.
you're looking at those guys in the 3 and 4 spots for Ocean State. That's a dangerous spot of the lineup, and with their power, it's a tough one to get through if you're Gursky on the mound.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Elsewhere, you're looking at Xavier Vargas for URI. Incredible spring for him.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he plays a phenomenal defensive first base. He earned that spot as a freshman. This year had a little bit of a down offensive year compared to his freshman year, but I mean, still, he had production every day out of the first base spot as a sophomore and was able to hold down the hatchet at first base.
Well, leading things off for Ocean State is the left-handed batter, Joe Simone. Hit 227 this spring for Ryder. 319 on base. First pitch from Gursky. Fastball misses low and away for ball 1 to get things rolling. Gursky, fastball in the low 90s. Second pitch fastball misses low. 2-0. He's a fastball curve change pitcher. Fastball sits in the low 90s, could reach 93, he says. Now this 2-0 pitch misses low and away. So quickly to Simone, 3-0. Lefty on lefty matchup to start things here in Newport. Out of the windup, Gursky pumps, kicks, and delivers the 3-0 pitch over the heart of the plate. Count now 3-1, so Simone leading things off for the Waves already has a hitter's count.
I mean, he's shown that this year. He's either led off or hitting the 9-hole. He's been able to work counts all year.
And he watches this 3-1 pitch miss low for ball 4, so work the count he does, and he gets a leadoff walk to start things off here in Cardines. So that'll bring up Elijah Dunham, batting second for Ocean State here tonight. Hit 310 this year for Indiana with a 434 on base and 542 slugging. So he did it all for the Hoosiers this spring, as this first pitch breaking ball misses inside for ball 1. Gursky out of the stretch, looking on another lefty-lefty matchup to start things off. Looking over at first, throws to first. Tours tags, but Simone's back safely. Dunham led Indiana in average. Had 12 doubles and 8 home runs to go along with it. Now this 1-0 pitch misses up. Count now 2-0. So Gursky has thrown 7, excuse me. 5 of them have been balls so far. Now on this 2-0. Fastball in there for strike 1. 2-1 to Dunham. It is Friday, so Gulls are in their orange tops, black hats with the blue bills and white pants. Whereas Ocean State is in a navy blue jersey with powder blue font. Now this 2-1 fastball misses outside for ball 3. Ocean State has a gray bottoms. Gursky looking on. Second 3-1 count already here today. On the 3-1. Pulls the string, and it's going to be off the glove of Ceruto. I thought it was tipped. Foul tip, and they're going to say it was off the glove of Ceruto, and advancing to second is Simone. Now Ceruto will object to Will Bowers, our home plate ump, and he's going to call in the other 2 umps, Tony Letizio and Keith Peters, and talk things over really quick.
Just off the sound, I didn't think that hit the bat.
I couldn't tell exactly.
I mean, as an umpire, you can pretty much only hear sound.
Right. Of course, Ceruto's going to say it did hit the bat. Now the meeting between the umps is over. They decided what they're having for dinner, and it did not go off the bat, and Simone is still at second base. So the ruling on the field stands. I think that goes as a pass ball. I don't think that was a wild pitch by any means. I think Ceruto could have come away with that. So now this one's going to be grounded right back to Gursky. He fields it, looks to third, but only play is at first, so he throws in time for out number 1. Simone does advance to third on the play. Nice base running awareness, not to hesitate. Now there's a runner 90 feet from scoring early on here in the top of the first.
Yeah, he was off as soon as that ball was hit there. I think the contact play was on. Took off as soon as that ball was hit by Dunham. Gursky gave him a little look, though.
That'll bring up Casey Dana. First lefty-righty matchup of the day, and he swings and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. Dana this spring for Seton Hall hit .234 with 8 home runs. Gursky out of the stretch. Brings in an off speed for strike 2.
To me, Casey Dana is what baseball is nowadays. He hit .237 with 8 home runs, but he struck out 53 times and only walked 24.
Yeah, he's not afraid to swing the lumber around, and if that means striking out, so be it. As now the 0-2 misses up for ball 1. And I think coaches are more comfortable with that. You're okay with strikeouts as long as he's able to hit the ball with power.
Oh, yeah, I mean, even last year for the Waves, he hit, and this is a stat I use all the time, he hit 300, but on balls he wouldn't play, he hit 500.
Obviously showing raw power off the bat, as now this 1-2 is in the dirt. Great block from Ceruto, keeping it underneath him and keeping Simone at third, so count now 2-2. And you see that a lot. Joey Gallo comes to mind. He's doing better this year, but he has a terrible track record of nearly leading the lead in strikeouts and top 5 in home runs. As now this 2-2 fastball misses low, full count.
Joey Gallo's going to be an all-star this year.
Yeah, and he leads the league right now in exit velocity off the bat. He's up there in home runs.
He's at 18 now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, Aaron Judge is always up there. John Carlos Stanton.
Johan Moncada.
Now this payoff pitch from Gursky. Curve's going to catch Dana looking for strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Gursky on the mound. Now there's 2 away in the first, but still a runner 90 feet from scoring to give the Waves the lead here in the first. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup, third of this inning. As Hodges settles in, first pitch fastball misses low, ball 1. Hodges hit .293 this past spring for Kennesaw State. So another solid hitter on this Ocean State squad. So now this 1-0. Fastball swung at and missed. Big swing. Strike 1. Another guy hit .293, so he hit for average, but he also hit 7 home runs. So now this 1-1 going to be diced down the line at third. Diving play from Gustin and throw to first in time for out number 3. So no run score off of 1 hit as the Waves leave 1 stranded, heading into the bottom of the first. 0-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network.
Proud to be the official.
Bottom of the first, Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. Scott Holzwasser, Jake Gustin, and Hudson Haskin lead things off for the Gulls, and on the mound for Ocean State is Thad Harris.
Well, Thad Harris for the Waves, like we said earlier, a 2.25 ERA on the year, has only thrown 4 innings, had 1 start against New Bedford, giving up 2 hits, striking out 2, but not walking a batter. And Thad Harris is, so to say, the leader of the Ocean State Waves. He's a rising senior at Winthrop. He was a 2018 Wave, and he's just that guy that you look to just be the leader of the team coming into the year.
Well, the first batter he will face off is Scott Holzwasser of Northeastern. Hit .254 this spring for Northeastern with a .394 on-base percentage. So far this summer for the Gulls, he's 5 for 18 with 2 doubles in those 5 hits. His first pitch to Holzwasser is in there for strike 1. Holzwasser standing in tall, elbow flat, cocked up against his shoulder. Watches this 0-1 pitch miss low and away for ball 1. 1-1 now to Holzwasser. Pitch bounces on the plate and over the catcher Sears. 2-1. Holzwasser has largely been the leadoff man for the Gulls and has found lots of success in that spot. Last time out for Holzwasser was 2 for 5 with a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. So now there's 2-1 fastball, going to be chopped over to the third base line and nearly fielded cleanly, but Dana can't glove it. Holzwasser thinks about 2. Fans want him to go, but he holds up at first, plays it safely. And they're going to rule that one a single. Dana didn't know how to play it along the bag, and it snuck underneath his glove. And so Holzwasser's aboard with a leadoff single, and that will bring up Jake Gustin.
Dana's had defensive issues in the past, last year with the Waves and with Seton Hall. But this year, the Waves of the team have only made 1 error so far. This will go down as a base hit, but Casey Dana's going to say that play needs to be made.
Now this first pitch to Gustin. Misses for ball 1. Somewhat of a tough play for Dana to make over there.
Yeah,
high chopper, kind of an in-betweener.
That ball's right on the bag.
It's now the throw to first. Holzwasser takes off for second. Tries a swim move around second, and they're going to say he's safe. What a play and what a slide from Scott Holzwasser. And now he takes time and he's going to go get his helmet. And here comes the manager for Ocean State arguing with Keith Peters, the field ump that made the call. And this one isn't about dinner plans, surely.
I haven't seen Brian Keegan move like that in a while.
That was like a Javi Baez slide.
I couldn't see. I was blocked by the umpire. I couldn't see if he got him or not. They could see in the dugout, but
obviously the rule on the field is not going to be changed. The call on the field.
I think Coach Keegan just wants to know what he saw there.
Nonetheless, what an effort from Holzwasser with the swim move slide at second. I mean, he was gunned out in time. There's no question about it.
That ball beat him there by a good 4 or 5 steps, honestly.
So 1-0 to Gustin, lefty on lefty matchup, and he lines this one into center, and a sliding play from Joe Simone for out number 1.
No, back to Holzwasser. It seemed like he skidded it instead of slided it. That might have been what made it hard for them to tag him out.
That play from Simone there, he's done that a few times this year where he looks like he's deking the runner to see if he's gonna, like, if he knows he's not gonna catch it or not. That one he did catch, but his intent there was to deke the runner at second base in Holzwasser, so he doesn't score on that. He's done that at least 3 or 4 times this year, and it's a stat that doesn't show up. But
you saw Holzwasser think about it too. Now this first pitch to Haskin caught him on his front foot as Harris pulled the string on it. Caught him on his front foot for strike 1. Haskin of Tulane this spring hit .372 with a .459 on base and .647 slugging. So this 0-1 pitch misses in the dirt. 1-1 now. Lefty on righty matchup for Thad Harris on the mound. Looks over to Holzwasser at second. Now delivers pitch that grounded right back to Harris on the mound. And he looks to keep Holzwasser at second, but throws to first, and Holzwasser advances to third on the play.
Holzwasser hesitated just a bit there. But that Harris did make the smart play in just running it over to first and getting the out.
You'll at least take one in that situation, especially with 2 outs coming up. Now you put the pressure on Colton Bender at the plate. He has to get a hit.
I think if it's a closer game there or if it's later in the game, Harris might have run at him, but.
And maybe with no outs or 1 out, you want to get the lead runner, but because you still have the opportunity of a sac fly. But with 2 outs, Colton has to get a hit here. Cleanup man for the Gulls. Watch as the first pitch missed way outside. 1-0. Another lefty on righty matchup for Harris on the mound. On the 1-0. Fastball misses up. 2-0. Bender on the year so far for the Gulls, 7 for 14, so that's a .500 batting average with 2 doubles. Now this 2-0 pitch misses low, 3-0. Last time out for Bender, 3 for 3 with a walk, a double, and a run scored. So he is the hot man at the plate for Newport. Now the 3-0 from Harris. Green light from Bender, and he pops it right back into the screen. So 3-1, and he'll presumably have the green light once again.
Yeah, Bender got his pitch there. He just missed it a little bit. I think it was a little more up than he wanted.
Harris will have to come across the plate once again on the 3-1. He delivers. It's going to be in the dirt. Bender was fooled by it, way out in front, and count now full.
Well, he thought he got his pitch there, but that one just dropped off the table from that Harris.
Nice pitch from Harris. The count now full for Colton Bender. Harris looking on runner on third for the Gulls with 2 away here in the bottom of the first. This one's going to be grounded back up the middle. A short spinning play from Walker, and he throws the first in time for out number 3. So no run score for the Gulls off of 1 hit as they leave one stranded. Heading into the second, still 0-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Waves here in the top of the second. Stephen Huff alongside Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. Will be Nick Elson, the designated hitter, leading things off for the Waves. Brian Gursky settles in for his second inning of work here for Newport. 0-0 ball game here at Cardines. Lefty on righty matchup for Elson at the plate. First pitch from Gursky, half swing from Elson. It's going to be off his bat and foul. 0-1.
Nice play by Xavier Vargas there to snag that one.
Out in the on-deck circle on his toes. So 0-1 now to Elson. On the 0-1, going to be popped back into the screen. 0-2. And now a nice play from Kevin Winterrode, catching that one off the screen. Elson this spring for Kent State hit 186 with a 220 on base percentage. Did not play in the first matchup between these two teams, and he swings and misses at this third pitch from Gursky for strike 3. So second strikeout of the day for Gursky on the mound. First here in the second. That strikeout will bring up Xavier Vargas. Hit 300 this spring for URI with a 406 slugging. Led the team in average hits and RBI, and you said he plays a great first base too, so he's a guy that can do it all.
Yes, he is.
Now this first pitch curve catches Vargas looking. 0-1. Gursky trying to do a nice job keeping these hitters guessing, sequencing his pitches well. So now he comes right back with the curve on the 0-1, but it drops out of the zone and low. 1-1. Shaking off his pitcher Cerudo. Now on the 1-1, comes with the fastball, but misses low once again. So 2-1.
A little bit of command issue with the fastball so far for Gursky. He's been able to drop that breaking ball in, but he's bounced a few fastballs so far.
Been kind of all over the place, but when he does miss, typically it has been low. As comes back with the fastball on the lower half for 2-2 now to Vargas. On the 2-2. Comes back with the fastball once again. Same spot to catch Vargas, looking for strike 3. So 2 straight strikeouts for Gursky on the mound, 3rd of the day. And when he finds a spot like that, you can tell he's in a groove and feeling a little bit more comfortable on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, every pitch to Javier Vargas was in that spot. He was working him low and away, and he was able to get the bottom corner of that zone.
So now he works on the outside edge. Fastball called a strike to Daniel Sears for strike 1. Lefty on righty matchup. On the 0-1. Pulls the string, and it ends up in the dirt for ball 1. Sears, the catcher for Ocean State, hit .204 this spring for Kennesaw State. So now this 1-1 is going to be foul tipped into the glove of Cerruto, so count climbs to 1-2. Gursky wanting to work quickly on the mound now that he's finding a rhythm. Out of the windup, delivers a 1-2 curve, but it misses low and away. 2-2. And you're right, he's primarily against every single hitter, just working low and away. Even if they make contact, it's not going to be anything that they can do damage on him.
No.
Now this 2-2 catches Sears swinging, so 3 up, 3 down for Ocean State in the second. 4 strikeouts on the day for Gursky as he strikes out the side. Heading into the bottom of the second, still 0-0 here in Newport. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Gulls here in the bottom of the second. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and Nick Bello, field reporter of the Newport Gulls, and our very own air guitarist and air drummer. Nicely done, Nick.
Not as bad as you did last game.
My dance moves were up to par last game, I won't lie. As Ryan Tours settles in at the dish for the Gulls. First baseman from Villanova, lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch, fastball catches the corner low and in. Strike 1.
Better than Jerry Remy's air guitar?
Ooh, that's tough to beat right there.
Oh, wow. So now this 0-1. Off-speed cut. Tours looking for strike 2.
You know, the funny thing about that is Jerry Remy's a distant cousin of mine.
Really?
Not even kidding.
So it's in the blood. It's now this 0-2 pitch just misses outside, 1-2.
Yeah, he's like my 5th cousin, I think.
Interesting. I mean, you are from almost the same place in Massachusetts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm from Swansea, he's from Somerset.
Harris looking on to Tours on the 1-2. Tours hits it the other way into left, going back at the track. Was Dunham, but settling underneath it for a long out number 1. And that has been Tours all summer for the Gulls. When he makes contact, it's deep to left field. He already has 2 doubles that way, but Dunham taking a nice route as that slice more towards the line off the bat, but taking a nice route to get the long out number 1. So with 1 away, that will bring up Austin James. Infielder from Missouri. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. Prior to Missouri, James played at State College of Florida, junior college level, as this 0-1 pitch in there for strike 1. Sophomore season consisted of an opening month of 11 multi-hit games, and him hitting .353 on the year with 71 RBI. Now this 1-1 pitch bounces in the dirt, 2-1.
There's been a lot of great talent coming out of the junior college level.
There really is.
I mean, the number 10 overall pick in the draft out of a junior college. There's a Rhode Islander, Tom Finone, out of a junior college, the same junior college Bryce Harper went to.
I think a lot of times people don't recognize how much of an opportunity junior college could really be. Art Hoven, the pitcher for the Gulls last night and on opening night, as this 2-1 misses up and away, 3-1. Originally was at a junior college for 2 years before going to Missouri too, so there's actually a lot of talent, and it's a great opportunity for guys coming out of high school that could then make it a positive. Now this 3-1, James going to ground this through the gap into left field. So the JUCO product now at Missouri gets a single to lead things off for his Newport debut here today. Not debut, but debut here in the second at least on Friday. So that single here in the second with one away will bring up Zaid Walker of Michigan State. Hit 285 this spring for Michigan State and 309 on base with 363 slugging. So solid year for the Spartans. Who's third on the team in average as he pops this one out of play. 0-1. Third on the team in average at Michigan State this spring. Second on the team in doubles and runs scored. You know, already as a freshman making an impact in Big Ten play. Now on the 0-1. It's going to be chopped down the third base line. Charging is Dana. Can't throw to second, so he throws to first in time for out number one. Out number two, excuse me. So 2 away, there's a runner in scoring position for the Gulls. And at the plate, the Rutgers catcher, another Big Ten product, Peter Ceruto. Ceruto hit 229 this spring for Rutgers. Lefty on righty matchup. First pitch misses outside for ball one. Last time out for Ceruto is 1 for 3 with 2 walks and a run scored. Now this 1-0 is going to be popped up on the first base line, out of play in foul territory, but tailing back into play. And underneath it is Vargas for out number 3. So heading into the third, it's still scoreless here in Newport on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Eight-9 hitters due up for the Waves here in the top of the third. As Gursky still on the mound for the Gulls. First pitch to McGillis. Misses low and away for ball one. Stephen Huff here with Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves, and Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Gulls. So this 1-0 pitch fastball in there for strike one. McGillis hit 223 this spring for University of Southern Miss. Gursky looking on out of the windup on the 1-1 to the right-hander. Foul tipped into Ceruto's glove, excuse me. Count now, 1-2. McGillis 328 on base, so a little low average, but on base over 100 points better. So some silver linings to that as this pitch misses low and into the backstop it goes for ball two. Lefty on righty matchup on the 2-2. Gursky delivers. This one's going to be flown into third, down the third base line, but out of play and into the bleachers towards the bullpen. So count remains even at 2. Getting underneath that one, but if he barrels that one, it has a chance to leave the park down the line and left.
Yeah, I think you get under that and just off the end of the bat there.
Now this 2-2 curve. Out in front is McGillis, but he's able to battle it off, so count remains once again even at 2. So Gursky working off of 3 straight strikeouts, struck out the side in the second, has 4 on the day. Now on the 2-2 fastball, once again popped back into the screen and towards the Gulls dugout, so we'll go again. On the 2-2 once again from Gursky, another fastball that misses low, his favorite spot to miss. Count now full.
The ninth pitch is the at-bat coming up here to McGillis.
And if you have a pitcher on the mound that's dealing like Gursky, it's this 3-2 pitch swung at and missed for strike 3. So 4 straight strikeouts for Gursky on the mound, 5 on the day. But as I was saying, that's not an awful at-bat if you're McGillis. I know you went down swinging with a strikeout, but you're making Gursky work at least on the mound.
I mean, he's thrown a lot of pitches tonight already. They may not have gotten a lot of runs across, but he's already thrown a ton of pitches.
I mean, Gursky, is a guy that's only thrown 22 innings this past spring for USC. It's this first pitch to Walker, curveball in the dirt for ball 1. But he was used as a reliever, came out of the bullpen in his only appearance for the goal, so he's not really used to being a starter and working long innings. It's now this 1-0 pitch curve. Watching it all the way is Walker for strike 1.
And I would assume he went through his routine today like he was coming out of the bullpen. I mean, he got to the field at the same time I did at 4:30 almost.
Now this 1-1 fastball popped back into the screen, so 1-2. And so I know, like you said, the Waves aren't putting runs across the board right now, but if you are struggling to get contact and hits against them, at least you can ask for good at-bats where you're making him work a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
They continue to do so as this 1-2 pitch is flown off the house over along the right field line. Count remains 1-2.
I mean, they are just missing him right now.
Now the 1-2 once again from Gursky. Off speed, misses outside. 2-2.
They're just missing on the fastball and they're chasing on the breaking ball.
And it's not like Gursky is coming into the zone too much too. They're laying off good pitches as well.
They're not swinging at those pitchers' pitches.
Now this 2-2 fastball popped back into the screen. So battling is Walker, of course, and we'll go again. I tell you what, they sure make us look good too. We'll take it here in the booth. Lefty on righty matchup for Gursky on the mound. Delivers the 2-2 once again and pulls the string and catches Walker swinging for strike 3. So that's 5 in a row he sat down by virtue of the strikeout. 6th on the day for Gursky through 2 2/3. So that will bring up the top of the lineup now for Ocean State. Joe Simone, his first at bat, he worked a walk. Watches the first pitch fastball in there for strike 1. He's the only base runner for Ocean State here today. Now on the 0-1 from Gursky, fastball misses low. 1-1. Lefty on lefty matchup. Gursky out of the windup. Delivers a 1-1. That's going to be chopped over to the first base side, but Tours gloves it and steps on the bag for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down once again for the Waves, and heading into the bottom of the 3rd. It's still tied at 0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 3rd, still tied at 0 here in Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bello. And with it being the bottom of the 3rd and me being alongside the field reporter, Nick Bello, I'm going to turn it over to Nick. Nick, take us through the league, take us through the games around the NECBL right now. Fill us in. What's going on?
Thank you, Steven. So we got Winnipesaukee at Upper Valley, and that is the bottom of the 3rd. Upper Valley leads 9-0. New Bedford is at Vineyard tonight. Vineyard leads 3-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. North Adams at Sanford. North Adams leads 2-0. And Vermont at Valley, no scores, top of the 2nd. Steven, back to you, my friend.
So a couple of good games around the league right now. Is settling in at the dish is Greg Cavalieri. Hitting in the 9-hole for the Gulls. First at bat today, and the first pitch he sees. He's going to single down the line. Rounding first is Cavalieri. Helmet almost falling off, and he's actually aboard second with a stand-up double. Diving play nearly from Dana, but he couldn't glove it, and ended up towards the bullpen in left field, in the corner in left, and Cavalieri with his speed made that an easy stand-up double. So with a leadoff double from Cavalieri at the bottom of the lineup, that will flip the lineup over for the Gulls' leadoff man, Scott Holzwasser. Holzwasser on the day, 1 for 1 with a single coming in the first. stole second on that pickoff move and then had that excellent swim move around the tag. He watches the first pitch from Harris outside for ball 1.
Yeah, going back to the double by Cavalier, it's the same play you saw Jake Gustin make in the first.
Now this 1-0 pitch swung at and missed from Holzwasser. 1-1. Yeah, Gustin made that play down the line. Dana nearly made the play, but just out of his reach.
Dana a little more of a true third baseman, be around 6'4" rather than 6 foot Jake Gustin.
Now this 1-1. Watched that for strike 2 from for Holzwasser. 1-2. Gustin does play middle infield more, so might be a little bit better with the glove. Middle infielders typically are. Now this 1-2 to Holzwasser, off speed. He watches it on miss on the outside edge. 2-2. Either way, no criticism of Dana there. I mean, it was a tough play, nearly impossible play for him to make. You can't ask him or expect him to.
No, I mean, if he makes it, great, but if he doesn't, so what?
Yeah, it's not his fault by any means. This 2-2 from Harris is yet to come as he walks off and watches Cavalieri trot back to second. Harris looking on. Still a 0-0 ball game in the bottom of the third. Runner in scoring position for the Gulls as Holzwasser swings and misses and is sent down swinging. First strikeout of the day for Harris on the mound.
Yeah, that Harris needed that there. He needed to miss contact in this at-bat. You don't want the runner on third base with less than 2 outs if you're the Waves. For the Gulls, you do, but.
Yeah, a nice little boost of confidence for him on the
Definitely.
mound, too.
Getting the strikeout with the fastball.
Now lefty on lefty matchup. Brings in the breaking ball to Jake Gustin. In there for strike 1. Gustin 7 for 19 for Newport. Just over a week played in the NECBL. Time is called by Will Bowers, the home plate umpire tonight. 7 for 19 with a home run. Last time out though for Bryant, 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 stolen bases. Now, 1 pitch to Bryant, going to be flown into the right center gap, and it's going to land in front of Simone. Rounding third is Cavalieri, but now he's going to be held up, and going up to second on the throw is Jake Gustin. So a single for Gustin, advancing on the throw. Unless the scorers are generous and giving him a double, but I doubt so.
Now, I couldn't tell if Joe Simone actually couldn't see it or if he was more or less deking the runner in Cavalieri.
And you talked about his past performances where he does deke the runners.
I mean, yeah, he's done it before. He's done it more than once.
It looked like he was calling off the other outfielders, but the sun is right directly in his eyes. Nonetheless, 1 away here in the third. Runners on second and third for the Gulls. First pitch to Haskin, misses outside for ball 1. Still a 0-0 ball game, but the Gulls are threatening. Lefty on righty matchup for Harris on the mound. Now this 1-0. Haskin thought about it. It's going to be off his bat on the half swing and off of him and foul. So 1-1. Haskin's a guy that tore it up this spring for Tulane. Like I said, 372 average, 1.106 OPS. The only guy that did better was Cody Hosey, former Newport Gull and first-round pick in the MLB draft this summer. But he's struggling to get going. 3 for 21 coming into this game at Newport. But he's a guy that once the summer gets going and more at-bats, I think he'll start heating up and be a threat at the plate as he pops this one back into the screen. 1-2.
Hosey had just an insane year this year.
Yeah, he was an absolute monster. I listed those numbers from Haskin. 372, 459 on base, 647 slugging. Second on the team in all of those. The only guy to do better was Cody Hosey.
And it's very difficult to beat those numbers.
I mean, those are unimaginable numbers, but of course, first round draft pick in the MLB draft, you can't complain if you're Haskin.
Especially for a freshman.
Yeah, right. Now this pitch misses low to Haskin. 2-2.
when Cody Hosey was here last summer, I don't think I've ever seen someone hit the ball like that.
Oh my God, he was insane.
Unreal.
Haskin trying to follow suit here. 2 runners on in scoring position for Newport. On the 2-2, runs inside. He backs off the plate, so count now full.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, today he is 0 for 1. Just grounded out back to the pitcher, but it did advance Holzwasser to third in the first.
The only goal I can think of hitting baseballs the way Cody Hosey did was Drew Lugbauer, I think 2016.
That's before my time.
Yeah, I mean, that was when I was in the stands, but I mean, he from the left side would just rope baseballs.
And now on the 3-2 is going to be popped up in the shallow left. Going back is Walker. He gloves it and throws to the relay man, Dana. And the Gulls stay where they are on second and third.
I remember interviewing Cody after he got drafted by the Royals last year. I think it was an early entry draft or something. And he was so nonchalant about it, honestly. Because he got drafted, I think, in the middle of a game or before a Gulls game. And he was so, like, nonchalant about it when I asked him about it. Like, it's all right.
Almost expected it.
Yeah, exactly. It was insane.
Well, some of these guys, I mean, obviously they're all very talented. I'm sure they do expect to be drafted at some point.
And a lot of them have been drafted multiple times, too.
Right.
I mean, you get guys like Ceruto and Walker who've been drafted out of high school.
Now this first pitch to Colton Bender misses outside for ball 1. And if you're Kevin Winterroad, the head coach of the Gulls, this is the guy you want up at the plate. Hitting 500 coming into this game, and he's the only goal to have a plate appearance and not strike out. As he swings and misses at this pitch in the dirt, 1-1. He's been a contact machine. Coming into this one, 7 for 14 with 2 doubles, and hit .313 this year for Quinnipiac in their incredible run going into the postseason.
Yeah, I spoke to Ian Osberg from Quinnipiac, and they said it was just awesome. They had no pressure on them, and they went in and they beat a 1-seed in a regional.
Now this 1-1 going to be lined back into the screen, 1-2. Yeah, they beat the number 10 team in the nation, East Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, they were told just go have fun and go play baseball, and that's what they did. And
that's exactly what they did. They ended up being the second to last number 4 seed eliminated from the tournament, but nothing to hang their heads about. First 30-win season in program history and first postseason appearance in program history. Now this 1-2 is going to be flown into deep left center, going back off the fence, and that will score 2 for the Gulls as Bender rounding first, and he'll be aboard second with an RBI stand-up double. And right on cue, we were complimenting the man from Quinnipiac, and he shows us up with a 2 RBI double. So the Gulls take an early 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. And with another runner in scoring position, that will bring up Ryan Tours. He's 3 for 14 coming into this game with 3 doubles, so all 3 of his hits are doubles. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch to him. This is inside, off-speed pitch. 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not what you want to see there if you're Thad Harris. You get up 1-2 on a guy who hasn't struck out all year, you just need to put him away.
Now the 1-0. Going to be flown back behind the plate, 1-1. You're right. Nice piece of hitting from Bender with 2 strikes on him, but still able to put the barrel on the ball and put some power underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, that ball just caught too much of the plate with 2 strikes. You want to be competitive, but you don't want to just serve pitches to hit.
Now this 1-1 going to be lined over to second, past the diving McGillis. Rounding third is Bender. He'll come around to score easily. And Tours is aboard with a 2-out RBI single, and the Gulls tack on another. And that's exactly what you want if you're Winterroad. The bats have been slow to get going this summer so far. Now it's early in the summer, but he said the bats are always slower to get going. But this is a good sign if you're Winterroad, and hitting coach for the Gulls, Jim Sorrow, because now they're starting to wake up and gain some momentum. Side of that RBI single from 2-ers. That'll bring up Austin James, and he's going to blast this one into deep left. Dunham looking up, and that one is gone. 2-run home run from Austin James as the Gulls keep this one going. 2 more on the board, and the Gulls now lead 5-0.
Yeah, James just got a first pitch fastball there. He did not miss that one. Not at all. That one right down the middle, and he put that in the left center gap over the 35-foot fence.
Boy, they say hitting is contagious. And
right.
it is proven to be true right now for Newport. That is 3 straight hits.
And 5 in the inning.
5 in the inning, including 2 doubles, 2 singles, and now a home run for the Gulls.
But I think more importantly, 3 straight hits with 2 outs.
With 2 outs, you're exactly right. And that will bring up Zaid Walker. He watches his first pitch in there for strike 1. And they're being a lot more aggressive at the plate in this game as well. Now the 0-1, big swing and a miss from Walker. He wants a piece of the action. Count now 0-2.
Yeah, Thad Harris is mad now. He gassed that one up a little bit.
0-2 now to Walker. Pitch going to be grounded over to McGillis at second. He's going to throw over to first in time for out number 3, but not before the Gulls put 5 on the board in the 3rd. Heading into the 4th, Newport leads 5-0 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 4th here in Newport. Gulls lead 5-0 with it being the top of the 4th. I'm going to send it over to my broadcast partner, Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves.
Well, thank you, Stephen. The Waves look to bounce back here in the top of the 4th. They'll have the heart of the order 2-3-4 up for the Waves as Elijah Dunham takes a pitch in the dirt from Gursky for ball 1. Dunham, the Evansville, Indiana native. Drafted in the 40th round by the Pirates as he chops that foul on the first base bag. Fielded by first base coach Jordan Lux. 1-1 now.
Yeah, and Dunham last time against the Gulls doubled, was hit by a pitch, had 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored.
That was his first game here. Is the 1-1's taken outside by Dunham. 2-1 now.
And so what a debut for him, and he did some damage in that. They scored 7 runs, and it was mostly him doing all the work.
Dunham hits that to the second baseman, Holzwasser. He fields on and throws it on to first for the first out of the inning.
Nice play from Holzwasser, rolling off to his right, charging, making the play, and throwing to first. Gursky rolling right now, retiring everyone after facing the leadoff man, Joe Simone, giving up a leadoff walk in the first. Since then, he's retired every single batter he's faced.
I want to bring up Casey Dana now, who struck out in the aforementioned first inning, looking on a curveball. Dana hits that foul right at us off the screen. 0-1 now.
And we talked about this at the top of the broadcast. Dana's that RBI guy. That's why he's kind of hitting in the middle of the lineup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the guy who's going to drive in those runs that get on base. I look back to our last game Sunday at Mystic. Dana takes a ball in the outer half. The Waves had 5 hits. Casey Dana had 3 of them, and he had all 3 of the RBIs.
Yeah, and that's not surprising. I mean, the way he swings the stick, I mean, he has a lot of power there, and with guys on, one of the more dangerous hitters in your guys' lineup.
Takes that inside 2-1 now on Casey Dana.
And now he's showing good discipline, too. I mean, 234 average this spring, but 366 on base. You got to love that.
Yeah, I mean, that average isn't telling to what he is as a baseball player. He chops the 2-1 over the third base bag, just foul as third base umpire Keith Peterson calls it.
And Gustin looked to keep that one fair, it seemed like. I mean, that one nearly was a fair ball as Gustin wanted to play it.
Yeah, that one just like 2 inches over the foul line behind the bag.
They called it foul. Gustin couldn't glove it cleanly either, so that one went in Newport's favor.
Dana takes a long walk back to the plate. The 2-2 now from Gursky. Dana takes it outside for a ball. 3-2 now. Dana rung up on that same curveball in his last at bat. That one just a little more on the outer half.
But if you're Gursky, that's where you want to miss, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do anything with that pitch, even if you do miss. So he takes a curveball in the dirt for the walk. The first batter that has reached by Brian Gursky in the second of the walk variety. No hits yet for the Waves.
And so that ends the streak of 10 in a row that Gursky retired. And you're right, no hits on the day for Ocean State, but 2 walks, leadoff walk to start the game, and then that last one against Casey Dana.
Bring up Garrett Hodges now, the left-handed swinging right fielder from Kennesaw State. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. That one just clipping the outer half. 0-1 now on Hodges. Hodges, a native of Blairsville, Georgia, also a 2018 Wave.
And
takes that in the dirt for ball 1 now.
His last time out against the Gulls, he had some success too, 1 for 5, but he had a home run and 3 RBIs. So him and Dana back-to-back are really dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, if I were a pitcher, I would not want to face them as he takes a ball in the outer half, 2-1 now.
And with the wind still blowing out towards right field, him being a dangerous left-handed at-bat, I know they don't have a hit on the day. I know Waves are down 5 runs, but this is a way for them to get back in.
Oh, definitely. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Gursky delivers. Hodges chops that right in the 3-4 hole. Casey Dana around second. He's on his way to third, fielded by the right fielder Walker. Throw cut off in the infield by James. It'll be first and third now for the Waves, and the Waves are cooking.
Yeah, and how about the hustle down the line from Dana? Working from first to third. I mean, we talked about his power at the plate. We talked about how he was working the count well, but then he showed off his wheels getting from first to third.
I mean, he's just a baseball player. He knows what's going on all the time. He's a smart mental baseball player. He's a good physically baseball player.
And so just when the Gulls get a 5-0 lead, the Waves are threatening.
Brings up Nick Elson now. Elson just missing that one, fouls that back off the screen.
And so Gursky's had a really great outing. I'm not saying he's blowing it or anything by any means, but this is where he might be tested because now he's working through the lineup again.
Hodges moves, Elson swings, no throw. Ceruto throws, it's over, good Jake Guston's head. Casey Dana will score. Garrett Hodges will get all the way to third. A botched first and third play by the Gulls there. So Garrett Hodges took off to steal second base. Peter Ceruto faked the throw to second base, threw it over the head of Guston, allowing Casey Dana to score. And Garrett Hodges gets all the way to third on a ball from Brian Gursky.
Yeah, and just a poor throw from Ceruto. And just as I was saying, Gursky's getting tested. Now you got to feel for him because that unforced error.
Elson chops that foul off what would be the third base dugout.
Now that Gursky's working through the lineup second time through, I know he's been dealing, but he's been a guy used mainly out of the bullpen. I want to see how well he does now that the fatigue might settle in.
Yeah, I mean, when we did the math, his pitch count was up to 52 coming into this inning as Elson fouls that off the screen. It's going to be well up over 60 now. If he's a bullpen guy, he hasn't thrown much more than probably 30 pitches, you say, in the season.
And not saying that he can't throw that many. I mean, he's still a ball player, but he may not be used to it, and so it's just something to keep your eye on.
Gursky delivers to Elson, misses high, 2-2 now. I mean, the Waves batters are still working the count. It's not like they're just going up and sacrificing themselves. They're still working the count. They just haven't gotten the hits with 2 strikes. Elson takes that one inside, just missing him. 3-2 now.
Gursky working a little bit more up in the zone.
Yeah, we saw him working down earlier now. Yeah, you don't want to say it's fatigue, but he's been working more up now.
Might just be wanting to mix it up a little
bit.
Yeah,
change the eye level. As Elson swings on a pitch up in the zone for the second out of the inning. This one by way of the strikeout.
And 7th of the day for Gursky. So just as we're contemplating, is he running out of gas? Will he run out of gas? Gets his 7th strikeout. So he's silencing us up here in the booth.
Bring up Xavier Vargas now, the left-handed hitting first baseman from the University of Rhode Island, right down across the bridge in Kingston, Rhode Island. Vargas takes a high curveball that he disagrees with for strike one. Vargas takes that ball in the outer half, 1-1 now.
What I do like about Gursky, though, is he's not missing his spots by much.
No, and his misses are
calculated.
Yeah, purposeful misses. As Vargas rips that into center field, it'll be right at Haskin, though. Down go the Waves. They leave one runner on base, get one hit. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And welcome back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I am Tim Joyce with the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff. We bring it to the bottom of the fourth inning. Thad Harris just finishing his warm-up pitches here. Due up for the Gulls will be Peter Cerruto, Greg Cavalieri, and Scott Holzwasser. Cerruto fouled out to the first baseman Vargas in his last at-bat. Cavalieri had that double down the line, and Holzwasser struck out for the first out of the third inning in his last at-bat.
And Thad Harris still on the mound for you guys.
Yeah, interesting to see. You'd like to see him get these 4 innings out of the way. If it's only the 5 runs he gives up, I think manager Brian Kehoe will be just fine with that one as Coach Dom Grillo goes checks on the bullpen. It looks like they're getting loose down there. As Cerruto grounds that to the shortstop Walker, he flips it on over to Vargas at first base. 1 pitch, 1 out for Thad Harris.
Yeah, quick work for Harris on the mound. That's exactly what you want. If you want to get more innings under your belt, if you want to get through the 4th or maybe 5th, we see some work in the Newport bullpen. But if you want to get through these innings quickly, that's exactly what you want, efficiency at its finest.
Yeah, first pitch swing in there for Cerruto. I think he just got that off the end of the bat and rolled over a little bit too soon. As Cavalieri grounds that foul. Again, first pitch swinging from the Gulls, this time foul.
And the Gulls continuing with that aggressive mantra at the plate in this game. I think that's what they wanted because they struggled at the plate so far this season.
That's taking a ball outside. I mean, they know Thad Harris is going to throw strikes. Hitting coach, Jimmy Sorrow is going to know that Thad Harris is going to throw strikes. So if they start swinging early and often, they're going to end up putting balls in play as Cavalieri swings at that pitch up and out of the zone. Not happy with himself there, the University of Rhode Island product.
Yeah, I mean, if he's throwing it over the zone, which he has, and if he keeps throwing strikes, of course you're going to be aggressive at the plate.
Oh, definitely. But it's times like that as Cavalieri takes that, looking for strike 3. That one fooled him there. It's times like the pitch that Cavalieri swinged out of the zone where you can get a little over-aggressive.
Yeah, certainly, and I think that's some of the problems with swinging at a first pitch. A lot of times, if that's the mantra that you want to go with and you want to be aggressive at the plate, that might be the only loophole in that game plan. Sometimes you might be swinging at bad pitches.
Top of the order now for the Gulls. That's grounded by the first baseman Vargas. He makes a diving play. It goes just off his glove and scoots into foul territory. But Tony Latizo calls it correctly, saying it is a fair ball. That'll go as an infield single for Scott Holzwasser.
Yeah, almost a great play from Vargas. At least keeping it in front of him. I mean, if that ends up past his glove, I know Hodges is coming in, but Holzwasser is rounding first at that point with this speed. I don't know if he's testing the arm of Hodges, but he might be thinking about it, turning that into 2.
Yeah, I mean, that one just got by Xavier Vargas. I think that hit off the palm of his glove. He overdove it a little bit, but can't really time that as Jake Gustin takes a ball down and away now.
If Vargas doesn't get that, though, it's slow enough that it might be a longer run than most people think for Hodges.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you've seen Hodges' arm, but he has an absolute cannon out in right field as Gustin, takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, then maybe Holzwasser's lucky that it got deflected from Vargas.
I mean, we saw him last year throw from the fence at Old Mountain Field on the fly to third base to throw a runner out. Mind you, it's 30 feet longer now, but still still a very impressive throw as Thad Harris grabs that nonchalantly. Will flip to the first baseman, Vargas, and the Waves get out of the inning, only giving up the one hit. And we'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we are back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Tim Joyce with the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff, and there will be a new pitcher for the Newport Gulls. Tell us a little more about him, Stephen.
Yeah, it's actually Zach Ottinger of West Virginia making his Newport debut this past spring. For West Virginia, had a 4.5 ERA, 2-0 record for the Mountaineers, and 14 appearances. He had 20 innings pitched, gave up 18 hits, 12 runs, 10 of them earned, while walking 6 and striking out 19 in those 20 innings.
Well, thank you, Stephen. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Ocean State Waves. Daniel Sears, Will McGillis, and Justin Walker.
Ottinger just got in the other day. On Wednesday, actually.
Yeah, West Virginia walked off by Texas A&M in their home park to end their regional.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for him. You got to feel for the Mountaineers.
That's fouled back into the screen. 1-1 now. I mean, but that walk-off was the one that you're imagining in your backyard. 3 outs. I mean, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, down by 3, and you hit a walk-off home run.
Yeah, that's the one everyone growing up plays in their mind.
As Daniel Sears just places that over the first baseman's head into right field, fielded by Zaid Walker for a base hit. The Waves getting out early on Ottinger. Bring up Will McGillis now. Another player in the regional is this time from the University of Southern Mississippi. They had a very interesting comeback in that regional. They had to score 8 runs in the last 2 innings to beat Arizona State 13-12. As McGillis drives that into left field. That is deep. That is off the base of the wall. Daniel Sears on his way to third. Cavalieri having trouble picking it up, and Will McGillis will stroll into second base with a no-out double. Runners on second and third for the Waves. Will McGillis first pitch swinging on that one.
Yeah, what a hit from McGillis, laying that down the line and off the base of the wall, like you said, stand-up double. And now the Waves' comeback is starting. Down 5-1, but 2 runners in scoring position to start the 5th.
Let's bring up Justin Walker now, the switch hitting shortstop, hitting from the left side for the first time tonight. Off Ottinger, the right-handed pitcher. Walker takes that on the inner half, strike 1. The left side is stronger side.
So with Ottinger coming into the game, that officially ends the day for Gursky on the mound.
Walker takes what looks to be a breaking ball in the outer half, 1-1 now.
Gursky went 4 innings pitched, gave up only 1 hit, 1 run. Was not an earned run while walking 2 and striking out 7.
Walker takes that one in the dirt. 2-1 now on the switch hitting shortstop. Sorry, it's a tough one from Indiana. A native of Lafayette, Indiana. Swings at that one just below the knees. 2-2 now for number 2. Justin Walker's favorite MLB player is Fernando Tatis.
Oh, wow. He's off to a good rookie campaign.
So he takes that one on the outer half, 3-2 now. Says his favorite team is the Chicago Cubs, though, being from Indiana.
I can get behind that. I'm also from the Midwest.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, Nebraska. As Walker flies that into left field, caught by the left fielder, Cavalieri. Daniel Sears fakes a tag as Gustin slips, but still catches it, and he remains at third. Score that F7 if you're scoring at home.
And what a great throw from Cavalieri right to the cutoff man, Gustin. Now Gustin slips, so you wonder if Sears could have scored from third if he went, but playing it safe was probably the smarter decision.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, Gustin just lost his footing. Honestly, probably would have had time to still throw out the not so fleet of foot Sears as Joe Simone steps up. Simone takes down the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 now. Simone from Rider University was a first-team all-conference member in his sophomore season. Swings at that one in the dirt, 0-2 now. Did not share the same success in his junior year. As you would imagine, teams had figured out how to pitch to him.
Yeah, and I think that happens a lot with guys after a successful first season in college. Guys have more tape on them. They study them a little bit more.
Simone takes that in the dirt, 1-2 now. Yeah, I agree. I mean, once you face a hitter for a conference season, you're only going to face them for 3 games. And even if they go 2 for 3, 2 for 3, and then 0 for 3, their average is still going to be up in the high 3s. Simone fouls that out of Cardine's field and onto the street. As we better call Newport Glass.
You're catching on quick.
Oh, yeah. Simone taps his cherry barrel axe handle bat on the plate as the 1-2. Takes that up and in. 2-2 now on Joe Simone.
A little more about Ottinger. Has a fastball that reaches 90 miles per hour and was Rawlings' perfect game honorable mention All-American in 2018. Was a member of West Virginia number 26 ranked recruiting class.
As Simone foul tips that fastball into the mitt of Cerruto for the second out of the inning. This way, via the foul strikeout. 2 outs now. That'll bring up the left-handed hitting Elijah Dunham, another Indiana University product.
The number 26 ranked recruiting class for West Virginia was the highest in program history.
Dunham drafted in the 40th round this year by the Pirates, turning 21, being draft eligible just a few days before the draft as he takes a ball on the outer half. 1-0 now. Gully Jr. makes a trip up to the press box.
Got a nice little back massage from him.
As Dunham takes a ball, 2-0 now.
It's a good day in the booth when this happens.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Gully's using me as
using you
as
as
Dunham
support.
swings at a ball in the batter's
right
box. Cerruto can't find it. That ball almost hit Dunham and he still swung at it.
Yeah, filthy breaking ball there from Ottinger, completely fooling Dunham at the plate.
Yeah, I think, that's the back foot slider you see there. I mean, that started on the other half of that plate and it almost hit Dunham. So that one does not slide. 3-1 now on Dunham. Dunham chops that foul into the Gulls dugout on the first base side. The Waves dugout also on the first base side if you're new to Cardine's Field. But this one hitting the Gulls dugout. 3-2 now on Dunham.
So Ottinger getting dinged up early, but now he's kind of getting out of that jam and has a chance to retire the side after 2 straight hits to lead off this inning.
All the payoff pitches in, and Dunham fouls that off the leg of Cerruto, just barely nicking that to stay alive.
And if he does, I mean, at first it looked a little intimidating for him coming out here. A little daunting, actually. Sears singling off him to lead off things in his debut. And then the first pitch double from McGillis, but now he's retired 2 in a row.
Another payoff pitch that's taken in the dirt for a ball. The runners did not move on the pitch. They will remain as Elijah Dunham has worked the walk. He will take his base, bringing up Casey Dana, just the man you would love to see in this situation as Gulls pitching coach, Greg Zackerson takes a trip out to the mound.
Yeah, just kind of calm down your new pitcher on the mound, kind of work him through everything. But this is exactly like you said, the guy you want up. This is who we've hyped up as the RBI guy for Ocean State. He's in the 3 spot for a reason in the Waves lineup. And with the bases loaded, you're down by 4 at this point if you're the Waves. This is who you need and who you want up at the plate.
A third of his hits this year are extra base hits, 2 doubles, a home run. Just a single here. I mean, that's all you need. There's going to be 2 outs. The runners are going to be moving.
And you have a pitcher on the mound that's new to this field, new to this team, and he's already given up 2 hits in the first inning of work and a walk.
Well, the first pitch to Dana. That's taken in the dirt and away. 1-0 now. I mean, a walk wouldn't hurt either, but
anything to keep it going right now for the Waves.
1-0 now, delivered. Dana drives that into left field. Oh! Cavalieri just missing, making an amazing catch as Dana will be caught in between first. But McGillis scores, Sears scores, Elijah Dunham all the way to third. Greg Cavalieri just misses making the diving catch as Casey Dana will have a 2 RBI single, just what the Waves needed here.
Yeah, we talk about him being the RBI guy, and there he goes, putting the barrel on the ball in that one, lining that one into the left center gap, and Cavalieri nearly came away with that one. But nonetheless, it scores 2 for the Waves and keeps things rolling. Now runners on the corners with 2 away.
Well, it was an excellent effort by Cavalieri. I think he had it originally as Garrett Hodges chops that to the second baseman. Holzwasser throws on to first to get out of the inning. We'll talk more about that Greg Cavalieri diving play as we'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Much to our surprise, Thad Harris is back out for his 5th inning of work. He will at least start it. As the Gulls have the heart of their order up 3-4-5 in Haskin, Bender, and Towers.
And it's kind of interesting to see him out there. I know they've used a lot of their bullpen already, at least in the last week, so maybe that's why they need him out there. But he's given up 7 hits through 4. He's given up 5 runs, all coming in that 3rd inning.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. The Waves, they have most of their bullpen available. They only have 2 pitchers unavailable to pitch tonight, 1 on limited availability. But we'll see as the first pitch from Harris is taken on the outer half by Haskin for strike 1.
I know they're not technically unavailable. Maybe he just wants to give them more rest.
No, I mean, they are unavailable with the pitches that they throw.
They are completely unavailable.
Yes. So that ball is taken out 1-1. Yeah, they beat Dvorak, who started last night, and Larivo, who threw 3 innings last night.
Well, yeah, that's just 2, but I know they used a lot of their bullpen this past weekend, so maybe he just wants to give some of those guys extended rest. I don't know. I'm still a little bit surprised to see Harris on the mound.
As Haskin lines that right at the second baseman, McGillis, for a L4 if you're scoring at home for the first out of the inning.
Well, with that being said, outside of that really 3rd inning, he gave up 5 hits, 5 runs. In the first, he gave up 1 hit, second 1 hit, and in the 4th, 1 hit. So outside of that 3rd inning, he's had a good game.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some hard hit balls off him like that right there. But yeah, that 3rd inning was his really only bad inning, and that's kind of been the story of the Waves this year. When they've lost, it's just because of 1 bad inning. Like when Martha's Vineyard last Saturday, so it's a ball out to Bender. It was just the 7th inning. We walked the first 3 batters that we got, and then we ended up losing by 3. As Bender fouls that into the screen.
And if you're looking at it more deeply for Harris, he hasn't given up a walk on the day.
No.
So that's also a plus.
I mean, like we said, he fills up the zone. He's not going to strike everybody out. He's going to put the ball in play and make the defense work. He only had 2 strikeouts in his last start, but he didn't walk anybody either. That time he was getting more ground balls rather than hard hit baseballs, but nonetheless, as that's hit over Cardian's field, 1-2 now on Bender. See if Thad Harris can put him away this time.
So not an awful lot. I think, like you said, and it's been kind of the story for Ocean State, just 1 bad inning.
Yeah.
So maybe at first glance it looks kind of crazy to keep him out there, but it's not all that wild because outside of that inning, he has had a solid day.
And the 1-2. Bender strikes out for the first time on the year in the dirt. Daniel Sears completes the strikeout at first. Strikeout 2-3.
And that's the first strikeout of the year for Colton Bender at the plate. He came into this game 7 for 14, was 1 for 2 coming into that at bat. And so after 8 for 16 in his first 16 at bats as a goal, he now goes down swinging for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little interesting. In today's day and age of baseball, it's his first strikeout in 17 at bats. Almost a week of play.
Yeah, and he's not a guy that doesn't swing for power either.
No, that's a ball taken in the dirt. 1-0 now on tours.
And ironically, it comes against the guy that you say doesn't get
strike.
a lot of strikeouts.
No.
I will say something that impresses me about Harris. He does pound the zone. He does have pretty good location. Obviously hasn't walked anybody.
Tours takes a strike on the inner half. Yeah, he's not afraid to throw strikes. He's not afraid to give up a hit if that's what happens.
So his control is there. So he can fool hitters with 2 strikes.
As that's chopped into left field, that'll be just foul into both teams' bullpens.
Especially with a breaking ball with 2 strikes. Very deceiving pitches coming out of Harris' hand. It looks like it's going to be in the zone, then drops out at the last second, and that's what got Bender out for a strikeout.
There are Gulls fans on the warehouse out in foul right field.
Great place to watch a ball game.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
Especially on this beautiful night.
You guys ever done a game up there like they do with the Green Monster?
We've talked about it.
Yeah, we have. I actually went up there last year.
Really?
For a game. Yeah, I got kind of bored. I was walking around, said, why not try and see if I can go up on the warehouse? And they allowed me up there. Got to talk to them for a little bit. Nice people. Very nice people.
Interesting as Tours takes a ball in the dirt, 2-1 now. Foul is that one off the glove of Daniel Sears. 2-2 now on the big lefty out of Villanova.
You got bored up there.
I did.
Hard to please, Nick Bello.
I am very hard to please, I must say. Yeah, I am pretty hard to please, not going to lie. But you'll see people throughout the summer on different elevated surfaces here in Newport. One being the firehouse behind us. That was one last year.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the firehouse yet as the 2-2 hits Tours in the knee. Kind of just staying in there. Lefty on lefty breaking ball. Wears that off the knee. With the new college baseball rules, you might see him stay at first, but those rules do not apply here.
He's nonchalant about it. Didn't even make an effort to get out of the way. Knew it wouldn't really hurt with it being a breaking ball, not much velocity behind it.
Bring up Austin James now, the shortstop from the University of Missouri at Columbia. Head coach Brian Keisher strolls out to the mound. This might be it for Thad Harris. And it appears to be it as there is a pitcher strolling in from the Waves bullpen. So Thad Harris has the longest outing of the Waves for the Waves on the short season. He fights to stay in the game but gives the ball to head coach Brian Keisher, and we'll be right back to hear more about the new Waves pitcher on the NECBL Broadcast Network. We are back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. New pitcher for the Waves will be Kyle Brennan, the right-handed throwing pitcher out of Belmont University in Franklin, Tennessee. Brennan, high school teammates with Billy Krieger, both in Centennial High School. Brennan on the year has only thrown 2 2/3 innings, although he's appeared in 3 games. He has struck out 5 batters in those 2 2/3 innings. He has walked 1, only given up 1 hit, and has recorded a save on the year. So good pitching from Kyle Brennan on the years. Last time I was actually against these Newport Gulls on June 11th.
Yeah, last time out, like you said, against Newport. Finished the game. Pitched an inning, only gave up 1 hit and struck out 1 goal.
As Brennan misses on his first pitch in on a breaking ball. Look on Thad Harris is not closed. He is still responsible for the runner on first base as Brennan misses in again. 2-0 now on Austin James. As James drives that into right center field. That will be off the Prout Crusader sign. Joe Simone picks it up. It will score. Ryan Tours and Austin James is into second base with a stand-up double. A 2-0 pitch driven off the wall in left center field by James, scoring Tours. So now the book on Thad Harris is closed. He is responsible for that runner, so that run will not be charged to Kyle Brennan. But Austin James is the responsibility of Kyle Brennan.
Boy, and how about a day for James? So far, 3 for 3, and he's a triple away from hitting for the cycle. And on top of it, he has 3 RBIs.
So the book closed on Thad Harris, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs, all of which were earned. Brennan delivers in the dirt to Zaid Walker. 1-0 now. He and Daniel Sears go out to have a chat, presumably about signs with a runner on second base, as they are new teammates.
If you're looking for silver linings for Thad Harris, didn't walk any batters, did have 3 strikeouts. And most of the damage, like we talked about, did come in the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
I know he gave up an extra run here in the 5th. Maybe that was fatigue. Maybe they left him out there too long. But 5 of those 6 runs he gave up were all in 1 inning.
That's a broken bat. 1 hop to Justin Walker. Fields the short hop, fires on a first. 2 and the inning. That'll do it for the Gulls in the bottom of the 5th inning. They have 1 hit, and 1 runner left on base. 1 run scored. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we are back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Time for the top of the 6th inning. Zach Ottinger still on the mound for the Gulls. The Waves will have due up 5, 6, and 7. Nick Elson, Xavier Vargas, and Daniel Sears. Elson 0 for 2 on the night with 2 strikeouts. Xavier Vargas 0 for 2 as well. Daniel Sears is not 0 for 2. He is 1 for 2 and has scored a run on the young evening.
So hopefully this is a bounce-back inning if you're Zach Ottinger on the mound. Rough first appearance for the Gulls. But this is a chance. Come in with a clean inning once again.
Elson takes a strike on the outer half, a little bit up.
And maybe those nerves are gone. You don't have to worry about the team anymore, impressing them or anything. I know his first appearance in front of the team.
Drops a breaking ball in, strike 2. I mean, he's obviously impressed them if they're here. So
right.
So he's a little bit nervous in your first outing. You'd like to do well.
And now you can just go out there and throw strikes.
Yeah, just pitch. So that's on the outer half, just misses a little bit. 1 and 2 now on Nick Elson. And Elson swings and misses on a breaking ball on the outer half for the first out of the inning. Xavier Vargas up now.
I think that's a good confidence boost for Ottinger on the mound. Second strikeout of the day, but here to start off the 6th, that's exactly what he needs, is a leadoff strikeout.
Xavier Vargas up now for the Waves, wearing low pants for the first time tonight, not sporting the navy blue stirrups with the Waves blue sanitary socks, as the pitch from Ottinger misses inside. 1-0 now.
Now, if you are Ottinger, this is where it gets tough, because Xavier Vargas is a tough at bat, and then you got the 2 guys who singled and doubled off you when you entered the mound.
2-0 now. Yeah, I mean, Xavier Vargas has not gone down easy tonight, and Daniel Sears singled in his last at bat off Ottinger. Will McGillis doubled. I mean, as Xavier Vargas rips that through the 3-4 hole, Xavier Vargas does single this time. Zaid Walker fields, throws it into the shortstop, James. And there was 1 runner on for Daniel Sears, who, as you mentioned, Steven, singled in his last at-bat.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Ottinger. I mean, Xavier Vargas hit 300 this spring for URI, so it's no surprise that in his 3rd at-bat, he got a hit.
I mean, he's hitting in the 6th hole, but he's a 3-hole hitter on most on most other teams.
Exactly.
Daniel Sears now for the Waves. Takes that first pitch, swinging, fielded by Gustin, throws on to second, throws on to first, does not get the double play, as Tours misses the tag that will be scored a fielder's choice.
But if you're the Gulls defense, at least you got 1 on that play. The throw to first wasn't the best. Tours, at least he gloved it. And if you're on the other end, Ocean State, you keep the inning alive, beating that down the line for Sears, one of the quicker catchers in the league. Ocean State now with 2 outs could still keep this going. At the bottom of the lineup, they've had success before in this game.
Will McGillis up now for the Waves. They outfield shading him a little bit more to where he hit that double. So that's in the dirt. Daniel Sears takes off the second, no throw from Zeruto. Daniel Sears will be in there with a slide. That'll be scored a wild pitch.
A nice job from Sears. Not hesitating on that. You need some runs at this point, so be aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, I mean, he saw it bounce away, had a great dirt ball read, and was able to swipe second base. It's free bases like that will win you baseball games. As Ottinger misses with a breaking ball outside. 2-0 now on McGillis from the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. McGillis, a native of Hattiesburg. Misses outside again. McGillis just finishing up his redshirt freshman campaign with the Golden Eagles. Only played in one game in that regional in Baton Rouge. As McGillis chops that foul, just misses Waves third base coach Eric Hirschbein-Bodner.
Nice. A little bit of quick feet from him over there.
Yeah.
Put a jersey on him.
Yeah, he used to be an infielder in his high school days. So McGillis pops that up. That'll just sneak over the outfield. The home plate backstop in Cardians as Newport Glass needs to be called. Ottinger ready. Ceruto ready. McGillis ready. Here comes the payoff pitch. And McGillis drives it into left field. That'll be over the head of Cavalieri. Sears is around to score, and Will McGillis will be into second base, half slide for his second double of the evening.
Yeah, great piece of hitting if you're McGillis. Second double of the day, second off of Ottinger on the mound. And so that will once again slowly but surely bring Ocean State back into this game. And now you're just mounting that comeback and nice two-out hitting there.
Yeah, I mean, just chip away if you're the Waves here for Justin Walker now. The switch hitting shortstop from Indiana. As Ottinger misses outside again on Walker, appears to be some action, just some stirring in the Gulls bullpen.
And this is a guy, even though he's hitting in the 9-hole, hit in the 2-hole against Newport last time.
As that's popped straight up in the infield. Second baseman Holzwasser is under it, and he will catch it for the third out of the inning. The Waves get one back with 2 hits and 1 runner left on base. We'll be right back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Well, we are back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Tim Joyce, joined by the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff, and their sideline reporter, Nick Bello. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Gulls in their half of the 6th inning. That of Peter Ceruto, Greg Cavalieri, and Scott Holzwasser. Peter Ceruto digs in now, taps home plate with his old hickory bat, twirls it a few times. Brennan's still on the mound for the Waves, delivers the pitch, he misses high. 1-0 now. Ceruto swings and misses on that. 1-1 now, a native of Short Hills, New Jersey. As Brennan just misses low and away. 2-1 now.
And he actually came out of New Jersey ranked as the #1 catcher in the state of New Jersey, according to Perfect Game.
As Ceruto pops that up. Right fielder Hodges is camped under it, and he will grab that for the first out of the inning. F9 if you're scoring at home. And we sure hope you are. So that'll turn Greg Cavalier around for the first time this evening, hitting left-handed. I believe is also his stronger side. That is his stronger side. Lines a single up the middle. First pitch swinging off Kyle Brennan.
So another guy that has slowed his get going for Newport this season, has been hitting in the 9-hole because he wants to kind of spark that lineup as it flips over.
Cavalieri is all the way to second base. That ball appears to have gotten past Kyle Brennan and Daniel Sears, rolling all the way to the Gulls backstop. I didn't see what happened there. Did you?
I looked away. No, we're gonna have to.
Did you see what happened there,
No,
Nick?
I did not.
Well, we'll have to check the replay on that one.
The throw in must have got away from the infielders and no one was backing up.
Well, here it is right now. Yeah, Simone throws it into McGillis. Yeah, it just gets away from Brennan.
And nice heads up Base running from Cavalieri taking the free base.
Yes, they'll have to go down as an E4. Yeah, an E4 official scorer says, to get Cavalieri to second base.
Now I'm surprised time wasn't called.
I mean, the ball isn't into the pitcher yet, though. That's the only thing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. As Brennan misses. Picked out of the dirt. 2-0 now on Holzwasser. Yeah, that's a play you don't see often at this level.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you might see it in Little League, but
more heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just lazy mistakes that can't happen for the Waves. As Holzwasser pops it up into the infield off the label of the bat, Xavier Vargas grabs it right where the second baseman would normally be playing for the second out of the inning.
You got to feel for Brennan, too, because if that run comes around to score, it's not really on him. I know he gave up the hit, but
it wouldn't be an unearned run necessarily unless it's a home run.
Right. But he gave up the single, but the runner's in scoring position. That's not on him, but it puts his team in a worse position.
Yeah, as Jake Gustin steps up now, he drives a ball to right field, just a little bit off the label of the bat, and Garrett Hodges will camp under it. So the sloppy mistakes from the Waves do not come back to bite them, as Garrett Hodges catches that for the third out of the inning, and we'll be right back for the top of the seventh inning on the NECBL Broadcast Network. And we are back on the NECBL Broadcast Network. I'm Tim Joyce with the voice of the Newport Gulls, Stephen Huff, and it being the top of the seventh inning, we will turn it back over to Stephen. Stephen?
Thank you, Tim. And we are actually joined by a guest in the booth, former Newport Gull intern of 2 years ago, field reporter of the Gulls, and last year, the broadcaster of the Gulls, Dave Beck. Dave Peck, excuse me. Local celebrity.
It's getting a little late. It's getting a little late. We're fine.
You understand. Local celebrity as well. Everyone is getting their rounds in with you. It's good to have you in the booth, man.
I tell you what, to be back here right now, to see it this packed, what is it, June 14th?
Right.
What is this, the third? How many home games have we had?
Third. We had one rained out, but this is the third.
Third home game of the season, Newport Little League night. Beautiful night for baseball. Friday, game one of the Pell Bridge Series. There was no other game I wanted to be at more than this one, and I mean, it's packed. There's a lot of energy, and we got a great ball game. What is it, 6-4 right now? Newport getting on the board early, so it's been great, and I'm happy to be back.
And it's kind of back and forth. There is a new pitcher on the mound for Newport. It is Jordan Marks of USC Upstate. This past spring for USC Upstate, he went 6-7 with a 4.44 ERA through 79 innings pitched. He gave up 59 runs, 39 of them earned, with 64 strikeouts to 19 walks. He does have one appearance already for Newport. Through 3 innings pitched, he gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, while striking out 3 and walking 1. That was on opening day against the Mystic Schooners. He will face off against the top of the lineup here in the 7th, Joe Simone, righty on lefty matchup. Simone 0 for 2 today with a walk. First pitch going to be grounded over past a diving Gustin. James Fields at short, throw the first in time for a quick out number 1.
Ah, that's a great play. Look at that.
Our new color commentator, Dave Beck. Break that one down for us a little bit.
I mean, no, it's good discipline. I'm not sure who the shortstop was, but
Austin
third base.
James, here, we could share a book.
Okay, we got the book here, so.
James.
It was the third baseman who had the dive to his left. Good discipline by the shortstop, staying focused, didn't assume that he was going to get it, able to field on the backhand and make the strong throw.
Now Elijah Dunham settles in for the Waves. First pitch fastball misses up for ball 1.
I tell you what, this place, so many memories here, and coming back, everyone, seeing Tom Lima, Shannon Carlson, Mike, Chuck, everyone in ownership, it's just been so much fun.
Now I heard a story about you as this 1-0 fastball, or curveball, excuse me, misses in for ball 2.
Uh-oh.
No, all good stories. After a game one time, you threw a ball from home plate and hit the left field fence, and then you were seeing stars afterwards.
Oh. One time, it's multiple times.
Oh, multiple times.
Multiple times, yeah.
Now this 2-0 pitch misses low, 3-0.
After the games, it actually started in 2017. Darren Zaslow and he was the broadcaster when I was 2 years ago. Yep, and last year. But we would do it after the games and hit. I got it. It was like 2 feet from clearing the fence out there in left field.
This 3-0 pitch misses outside for ball 4. So Elijah Dunham is aboard first with a 1-out walk.
And afterwards, stars everywhere. I mean, I was hobbling. I was hobbling around, and I was telling Zazzle, I was like, Darren, I need another ball. I need another shot at it. And a couple of Gulls were lingering around because I think we were using their gloves, just throwing around the diamond. And they're like, oh, man, like, they almost cleared it. So that was fun, and a lot of good memories. Also took some batting practice back in the day.
I was going to get to that as Dana settles in for the Waves. First pitch misses low for ball 1. Now, for those of you that are just tuning in for the Gulls this season, the Gulls were a little short-handed at the end of last year. They only had 9 players playing the field at the end of the season.
Oh, it was tough.
And so they were looking desperately for another player if needed, and they actually had you taking BP before the game as this 1-0 pitch is fouled off the glove of Ceruto, 1-1.
I remember we'd get all our interviews in. We got all our sound, everything that was neat. You know, we're doing our jobs. We have a job to do. And then roll up the khakis. We got the topsiders on. Maybe take off the dress shirt. We got an undershirt, and we just take some BP. I remember it was Xander Jones, assistant coach, hitting coach, and
did you lay down a few bunts first, or
yeah,
no?
A few bunts,
Okay,
a couple of hit and runs.
Yep,
just trying to get our work in, and then we let it rip. And I remember some of the guys, Tim Tawa from Stanford, especially Stevie Mangrum, just giving me some tips. You're saying, if you want to clear it over the left field fence, just shorten up your stance so that you can really lean into it, and it worked.
So you're a righty, huh?
I am a righty.
Now
Yep.
1-1 is going to be fouled out of play along the first base line, 1-2. So you're a righty, and you were pulling it down the left field line, and you said you cleared the fence.
I think I had three home runs. Actually, when we went to Danbury, I was at short porch over there in Rogers Park. I don't know if you guys have been there yet.
I've heard about it.
I don't know if that counts or not.
It might not count because it's probably 250 feet all the way around. But I was able to do it there. That was a lot of fun.
Now this 1-2 fastball misses up to Dana, 2-2.
Yeah, I heard you guys, I was talking with Tom and Shan before, you guys throw the ball around before the game, kind of warm up a little bit.
It's a little exercise we do to, free the mind a little bit, creative exercise, talk about, broadcast segments that we're going to talk about on air, interview segments before.
Yep.
It's more of a business meeting.
It's a business
That's
trip.
what it is. We're not messing around. It's a business meeting.
Yeah, you're tossing the rock, but you're getting your work in.
You get it.
Exactly, yeah.
2-2 misses up and away. Count now full to Casey Dana.
That's a nice little tradition. I mean, afterwards, we used to do double plays as well. So there are a lot of things, and the players, they're more than willing to lend you a glove. Maybe you shack some fly balls in batting practice if you got a little time later on in the season. But
we were thinking about using that as a segment, shagging balls.
I was thinking, there are a lot of good segments that could be done. You have the camera out in center field now.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is incredible. I'll tell you what. I mean, this is a high class
I'm
operation.
very lucky. Yeah.
I mean, Tom and Shannon and the whole crew do a great job, but
they really set me up this year with that one. I won't lie.
Oh, it's awesome. Nick, I remember last year you were up there on the warehouse there down the right field line.
Now this 3-2 pitch runs upside for ball 4, so 2 straight walks for Marks on the mound, puts runners on first and second with 1 away for the Waves.
And we got some people up there right now. You actually were talking to him. I remember that.
We were actually just talking about that a few innings ago. We went up there. Well, I went up there because I was bored.
No, you were doing some investigative journalism work. I mean, that's doing your job.
But then he said he got bored.
No. I said I was bored.
Oh.
That's why I went up there.
Oh, you went up there. I misunderstood.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. But yeah, they're nice people up there. It's like a whole group of people. Like, I'm not sure if they're family, friends. I couldn't really tell. Yeah.
They look comfortable. I mean, one guy's dangling his legs. We always talk about it, but it's got to be one of the best places around to watch a game besides right here in these seats.
So there's a meeting on the mound with the pitching coach, Greg Zackerson, meeting with the Canadian pitcher, Jordan Marks.
Do you remember what they said at all?
A little bit. I kind of asked them, because remember you guys were feeding me questions via text.
Right.
We didn't have a mic or anything. So you guys were asking me, give me a question, ask them. I was asking them, how they got the house, how long they've been up there, what's the crazy thing that's happened to them. And I think they said a couple kids, went up the roof. They didn't know these kids. They went up the roof, and they were just, collecting balls up there. And they have buckets of baseballs up there.
Wow.
They were showing me them, yeah.
That is not a bad idea. I mean, we're only in the top of the 7th right now?
Right.
Might be able after this, might be able to go over there. You know what? I also saw the former pub Mudvale down the right field line closed.
I think it's a
didn't even
cafe
realize
now.
that. I was walking by today into the bank, and it's not Mudville anymore.
There's no one in the nest over there.
Runners take off, and the bat is flown towards the first base. Ball goes into right. Zaid tries to field it. It's underneath his glove. One run will score for Ocean State. That is Dunham scoring for the Waves as runners are now on first and second on that one-out single from Hodges. Sorry to cut you off, fellas.
No.
I went in the 2-1 game, actually. Again, when I was bored.
You've done it. No, there's been a lot of funny things that have gone. I remember one time Coombs got ejected, and he was actually staying in that barn house, whatever it was.
Rumor has it he actually rented that house out for the summer. I don't know if that's true or not.
He rented it or got some sort of generous subsidization to stay there.
Now this first pitch to Elson at the plate. He watches it in there at the knees for strike one.
But he got tossed, and then immediately, he went home and just sat out on the porch right there behind the left field fence, probably had a beer.
Of course.
And was probably chirping Dylan Plew, the former left fielder. Just probably coaching him from there.
I remember last
righty on righty matchup, and it's going to be popped up over to the first base side. Tours in foul territory giving chase, and he's there for out number 2.
I remember last year he used to do the lineup from his home too, and you used to have to go and find them sometimes.
It was a nightmare. You got to get your interviews, you got to get your sound. And I'm looking for Coombs. Where is he? And for anyone listening who are not familiar, Mike Coombs, the manager emeritus here in Newport. 12 seasons. Where did he win? 5 Fay Vincent Cups. An absolute legend. The interviews are off the chains. One of the most lively people I've ever met, and a great baseball mind as well.
It's his first pitch to Vargas.
Tom was showing us the.
I think he was in there for strike one. I wasn't looking, to be fair.
Tom was showing us the video they
was
have
a ball,
of his
excuse me.
pregame antics last year.
Oh, the Kenny Powers.
The Kenny Powers
man.
thing.
Oh, man. He came in.
Now this 1-0 is going to be chopped towards James at short, giving charge. Throw to first, not in time, so bases are loaded with 2 away. Waves only down a run here in the top of the 7th.
I remember he came in, I don't know what, maybe on a gator or something, dressed as Kenny Powers.
It was the penny cap.
You're right. And he had a bunch of Tecate beer. I remember he had a bunch of warm Tecate, and he was just throwing it at the players pregame. I mean, it was absurd. They were like, what is going on right now? I have no idea what's happening.
There is a second meeting on the mound. Kevin Winterroad, the head coach of the Gulls, is out to visit with Marks, and I believe that is the second meeting on the mound this inning, which means we will have a pitching change as we look to see who the new pitcher is for the Gulls.
Now, I remember walking over and hearing Coombs' voice over the loudspeaker and being like, what is going on right now?
You just never knew where he was going to end up.
He seemed like quite the character.
Oh, I mean, those interviews, you would have 2 to 4 questions prepared, knowing that you weren't going to use any of them, to be honest, because you would say, hi, Dave Peck here at the manager's show with Mike Coombs, and he would do something wild, and you'd have to kind of go with it. But that, it was fun, and it was definitely entertaining, too. So
the new pitcher on the mound is Cameron Fair of Missouri. This spring for Missouri had a 16.2 ERA. Now that's a little bloated. He only pitched 1 2/3 inning. And in that time, he gave up 3 earned runs, 3 hits, but he did have 3 strikeouts in that time. And he already did have an appearance for Newport this summer. Went 3 innings pitched, only gave up a hit, no runs, did walk 2 while striking out 4. So a much better start to the spring than he did, or to the summer for Newport than he did have this spring for Missouri.
So Gulls are what, 2 and 3 going into this game?
2 and 3 so far. The bats are a little bit slower to get going, but they're starting to liven up this game.
Yeah, honestly, it looked good. I don't know who it was, but somebody had a home run. I think they had an RBI double. Was it the same person?
Yeah, it was Austin James.
He looks good from Mizzou.
Yeah, from Mizzou. He had an interesting spring, not really getting it going. Had a great JUCO career, but then here today, 3 for 3, RBI double, 2-run home run, and a single. So triple away from the cycle.
Triple away, and this ballpark, it's very possible out there in right center.
Oh, yeah, if you put a ball out there, you don't know how long you're going to be running for.
I mean, especially with away outfielders. I mean, there are light posts. I'm sure you've talked about. There are light posts inside the fence. There are grates. That's the craziest thing. Not even the light posts, but
there's grates out there?
There are drainage grates all over the field. I mean, it's ridiculous. Covered up by cardboard.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about the trees. I mean, this place has
it's
quite a bit of character.
I would say it's the most difficult outfield I've ever seen for especially a center field place, not to mention right field with that warehouse. Somebody get killed.
Well, Hodges has played right field here, but Simone hasn't.
You're right. He does have a little experience.
His first pitch from Fair, swung at and missed from Vargas for strike one.
I think it's always the case that bats are a little bit slower to get going here in summer ball. Adjusting to wood. Maybe you take a couple of weeks off depending on how far your team got, if they got into the postseason.
Now this 0-1 fastball in there for strike two. Yeah, that's kind of what Coach Winterroad said. The bats are always slower to get going than the pitching is, so it's only a matter of time.
The Newport's got a few more bodies coming in. I mean, Vandy's still in it. I'm not sure who else.
They got one more guy coming
One
from
more
Vandy.
guy?
They had a couple guys already from Vandy show up. As this 0-2 pitch going to be chopped foul along the third base line.
Really, that's interesting that they didn't keep everyone on the roster there for the World Series.
One of them was redshirted, so he came early. One of them got a little bit of playing time, but has a lot of skill to him. So they said, go get your reps at Newport.
Okay.
And then Isaiah Thomas is still with Vandy for the College World Series.
You know what position he plays?
He's an outfielder.
Outfielder, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of good teams there.
Now the 0-2 from Ferrer in the dirt. Nice block from Ceruto, so 1-2.
I was watching it, in the past couple of weeks, and I remember there was one time I was watching UCLA, Louisville, Michigan, and maybe Stanford. They were all playing at the same time, and the UCLA pitcher was an ex-Gull, Kyle Moore. The Louisville pitcher was an ex-Gull, and Mike Kirian. The shortstop from Michigan, Jack Blumgren, was a Gull as well. And then Stanford, they got a pile of people.
Right.
So it was wild to see.
This 1-2 misses up 2-2, and then there's actually another Louisville pitcher that just got here, Garrett Schmeltz. So you probably saw him. At least he was on the roster.
Yeah. Zach Britton, a Gull. Tim Tawa,
Right.
Andrew Dashbach. And how about Cody Hosey, J.J. Blade?
Now this one's going to be popped behind the plate and foul.
Yeah, I had no idea J.J. Blade was a Gull.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea until I was reading that he got drafted and you guys posted something.
Yeah. I didn't know that until the draft, a couple weeks before the draft, when we were doing the preparation and stuff for the draft. And J.J. Blade's name came up, and I was like, okay, who's this guy? And I looked him up. I'm like, oh my God.
This 2-2 pitch caught him swinging for strike three, so that'll end the inning here in the seventh, but not before Ocean State puts one on the board. Score is 6-5 heading in to the seventh inning stretch, but I say we stick here with it, fellas. I think we got some stories to tell.
I would love it. God.
So, of course, you were here with Cody Hosey.
Yep.
Tawa.
Yep.
And he won National Athlete of the Year. Tim Tebow won that award. Some other. Did Mariota win that award? I can't remember.
There
was some
Oregon guy.
What's that?
I think Jameis Winston won it once
Jameis
too.
Winston. This isn't just giving any slouch out there.
No, and triathlete, baseball, football, basketball, a great player all around. He was a quarterback, and I remember asking him last year, what made you pick between football and baseball? And he said something along the lines of, I wanted to go to Stanford, and playing baseball gave me the best opportunity to do that, because I think he got an offer maybe a sophomore or junior year. It was pretty early on to play baseball there. And being from Oregon, West Coast guy, obviously one of the best schools in the country, it was pretty much an easy decision. And I asked him if he misses football. He said, yeah, of course. I was quarterback. I loved it, but fly around the outfield. He actually plays shortstop now for Stanford. Definitely suffices. And also, baseball may perhaps a little safer longevity of the sport.
And you got to honor, you respect that, and wanting to go to Stanford, one of the top schools in the nation.
Yeah.
Being one of the top athletes, too. They're going to find a place for him to play at that point.
Yeah. No, and actually one of the kids, I believe his name is Will Mathiasen. Believe that's his name. He was one of the standout players for Stanford this year. Went to high school with Tim Tawa. They played basketball together. Will was actually mostly a basketball player. Tawa is probably his third sport. But they played on the same high school team in Oregon. Now they're together at Stanford. Two of the top players on that team, along with Andrew Dashbach, who was a Gull from 2017. Yeah. So he got drafted too. It's banana land out there.
Right.
So many Gulls. It's awesome to see. And for us, like interns working here, getting to know them, talking to them when they're going through, trying to climb the ranks and getting to know their personalities is just so much fun.
Well, I got to ask, now that you're not with Newport, as we get back here in the bottom of the seventh, new pitcher on the mound. We'll get to that question in a minute. New pitcher on the mound for Ocean State, and it's Billy Krieger.
Krieger. Yeah, so from Sanford University, another Franklin, Tennessee native.
First pitch from Haskins. Haskins going to be grounded out over to the second base side in time for out number 1.
As I was saying earlier, high school teammates with the previous Waves pitcher, Kyle Brennan. Krieger as well has also appeared in 3 games on this young season. Thrown 3 1/3 innings, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Only giving up 3 hits, though.
So not too bad from the new pitcher on the mound for Ocean State. Going back to you. Do you miss the bus rides?
Oh. Well, you guys got a new bus ride. A little,
oh, man.
Little cross-ocean type deal going over to Martha's Vineyard. That'll be fun.
That is an awesome place.
Have you done it? Have
yeah,
you done it yet?
We were there Sunday. It's a beautiful ballpark.
That's awesome.
Now this first pitch to Colton Bender, misses low for ball 1. Yeah, I've been told it's quite a trek to the ferry, and then the ferry is a 45-minute, hour long.
Yep.
Yeah, You've done it, so you can tell me.
I went over early in the morning. I took the 9:30 ferry overnight. I left Charlestown at 6.
Okay.
This 1-0
that's
pitch.
smart.
Yeah, it was.
Every day out of it, yeah.
Yeah, we did the day in Vineyard. Girlfriend and I got a moped, drove around
nice.
the whole island. Yeah,
wow.
it was worth it.
That's a nice day. And then a little baseball after.
It's worth it to rent the moped rather than bring the car. It's like
that's the way to do it.
Lefty on righty matchup, the 1-1. Off speed, Bender watches it in the zone for strike 2.
Yeah, I mean the bus rides we had with personalities, Coombs.
Coombs leads the way.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous. But I tell you what, Greg Grawl, who had experience, he actually won a ring with the Red Sox as one of their bullpen coaches in 2013. He had so many stories.
Oh, I can imagine.
From going through the minors and talking, boys with John Lackey and doing this and that with other big names, and then Winter Road, of course. It was just so much fun. And I don't know if they still do this. It's early on in the season. They play Mafia, all the players in the back of the bus. That's a classic thing.
Not yet, as this 1-2 pitch was flown out of play. The next 1-2 pitch misses low for ball 2.
Start of the season takes a little bit of time.
They're still getting to know each other.
Takes
at
a
this
little
point.
time. Yeah,
but you can start to feel them build that chemistry and warm up to each other.
Yeah. And it's awesome when you start to see it.
Now this 2-2 pitch swung at and missed a little half-heartedly from Bender. So 2 strikeouts on the day. I talked about coming into this broadcast. Oh, he's the only goal not to strike out, and a little bit of a broadcaster jinx.
Yeah.
Nice. 2 strikeouts in a row for the catcher from Quinnipiac.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, the bus rides, you have to try and get a neck pillow.
That's actually great advice.
Try and not sit next to someone who puts their seat back.
Yeah.
And vary your songs. Use Spotify. Use the Discover function of Spotify so you're not playing the same songs over and over and over again, because that's what I did, and I definitely wore them out.
First pitch to Tours was in there for strike 1 on the 0-1. Misses inside for ball 1.
I would say the worst, I mean, it's not the longest ride, but the one to Danbury.
Oh.
Always traffic on I-84.
Yeah, I heard there's a lot of traffic.
It's, yeah.
1-1 breaking ball, misses up, backs Tours off the plate, 2-1.
And you go there 3 times, so it's not a novelty. After the first time, you're like, okay. And
we
then
get
you
it.
got to do it twice, and it just, they do a great job, great franchise, but
2-1 half swing from Tours. He went around, strike 2.
But man, yeah. A lot of good memories, though. A lot of fun.
Well, it sounds like it. I mean, you wouldn't have come back for a second summer if you didn't enjoy it that much. It's now the 2-2 from Krieger on the mound. Fastball just missing outside, so count now full to the first baseman from Villanova.
Yeah, I mean, any other place in the NECB, I mean, a lot of good places, but there's nothing like Newport, if I'm going to just speak frankly. Biased aside, there's nothing like Newport.
Payoff pitch to Tours, misses inside for ball 4, so 2-out walk will bring up Austin James.
Yeah, it's hard to leave here at the end of the summer, really.
It is. Oh, it's sad.
Nick Bello, the field reporter of the Newport Gulls. You're back for your second summer as well.
Worked with Dave last year.
Yeah. You didn't want to leave.
No, I did not.
No, it's tough.
So James settling in at the dish for the Gulls. Singled in his first plate appearance in the second, 2-run home run in the third, and then an RBI double in the 5th. Lefty on righty matchup. Standing tall in the box. Elbow cock tie. First pitch to James. Watches over the plate for strike 1.
I think the thing is very rarely in broadcaster's career, media member, to have this kind of access to players, to be able to talk to them as freely and openly as you want when you're not in interviews. And honestly, when you are doing interviews, it can be fun, you can be loose, because they're our age. They're climbing the ranks together. So it's so much fun, and that's one of the most special things about this. And it only gets better as the season goes on, as they get more comfortable. We get more comfortable as interns, and they start throwing stuff from the dugouts. And you're trying to do an interview, and they're pouring water, and they're just standing. I don't know if, Nick, you remember any of that.
I remember a lot of that last year.
Against you. 2 straight pitches from Krieger misses the zone, 2-1 now. During a pregame taped interview, or at least stand-up for you, someone gave you a wet willy while someone else was patting you down like they were airport security.
Yep, that was Tim Tawa and Stevie Mangrum.
This is 2-1 to James Misseslow, 3-1 now.
Mangrum, actually, he transferred from Virginia Tech to University of Tampa. He won a national championship this year, Division II. He did.
I remember watching Virginia Tech playing Brian. I didn't see his name on the roster
anymore.
anymore.
He transferred. We found out about that about in the middle of last summer.
3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss from James. Count now full.
But it's one of those things, you hear so much when you're off the record. You got to make sure, what do you want to say? Am I allowed to say this? Especially because you don't know who's listening, scouts, whatnot. So, but we found out probably mid to late July that he was going to Tampa, and it worked out.
Now the full count to James, misses inside for ball 4. So 2 straight walks for Krieger on the mound. Puts 2 goals aboard on first and second. That will bring up Zaid Walker.
I mean, that's been the issues for the Waves so far this year. It's been 2 out walks. I mean, it didn't come back to bite us in Martha's Vineyard. It come back to bite us against Martha's Vineyard, actually, at home, though. But it's just been the inability to put innings away for the Waves.
Yeah, 2 out walks, and then even in the first game when these 2 teams matched up, you saw Ocean State give up 9 walks.
Really?
And so that was kind of the reason that game became 12-7. Newport started that game off hitting well, but then as it became out of hand, it was because of walks. As we see a pinch hitter for Newport, it'll be Joey Bellini of Cincinnati pinch hitting for Zaid Walker. Bellini actually made his debut in that Ocean State game. Nick, I'll let you go ahead, though. First pitch to Bellini, in there for strike 1.
Dave, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to the guys from last year? Any of the players?
I do.
You do? Who?
I do, actually. Logan Harvey.
That's what I
thought. Tim Tawa, Cody a little bit as well. I would say those 3. Stevie.
One pitch swung at and missed.
We have a little group chat. I would say Logan and Logan Tawa and Hosey the most, just because. Actually, you know what? Cole Austin too. He left early.
Oh, really? Yeah.
He's in the mix as well. So yeah, it's good to keep in touch with those guys because it's fun to watch what they do, and you get so close to them. Just awesome.
0-2 breaking ball. Bellini chops it foul, so count remains.
I was watching an interview. Bellini in Ocean State. He had a game when you guys were there, right? I was watching some interview.
That was his Newport debut.
That was his debut, right?
Doubled in his first at bat, homered in a later at bat. Went 2 for 5 with 3 runs scored, so that's a good way to say hello to his Golds debut.
Yeah, that was awesome. You had the video to get a video interview away. That's good stuff. Always raising the bar.
Yep. I see what you did there with the
I did. I was talking to Chuck. Chuck was running the snack stand. Chuck
was he really?
He was running the snack stand.
No way.
Wow. And you know what? When you come here as an intern, probably had the same conversation with all you guys.
Yep.
You are expected, yes, broadcaster, yes, member of the media. But if there's a bathroom that needs cleaning, if there are bleachers that are dusty, and you see it and you have a little bit of time, doesn't matter what your title is. You do the job and try and make, the ballpark or the team or the organization better. And to see him in there working away, making hot dogs, selling.
The show, yeah.
I mean, he's out there. He's with his soldiers.
That's our general manager, 19 years in, and he's still working the concession stand when needed.
Oh, when I heard that, my face lit up. It was awesome.
1-2 pitch to Bellini, misses low. Count now even at 2. I mean, Chuck is one of the greatest guys out there.
Yeah, he is. And I remember my first conversation with him when he was talking to all of us.
Now this 2-2 pop behind the plate. Count remains.
I remember he was intimidating the first time I met him. I mean, let's say it for how it is, and it was just yes sir, no sir. I don't want to mess up at all. And he makes it very clear very early on that if you work hard and you do your job, then you'll get on his good side, and that's
then
a
it
good
turns
thing.
out he's the nicest guy
yeah,
he's
and
ever
then it turned out he's the nicest guy ever. Right.
I remember Stephen after the meeting.
This 2-2 to Bellini. Catches him looking for strike 3, so no runs crossed for the Gulls in the 7th. as they leave two stranded heading in to the 8th. It's 6-5 goals lead the Waves here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. But
well, I remember Steven after the meeting, the first meeting we had with Chuck, he was a little nervous because
I
Chuck
was.
seemed very intimidating.
Yeah.
I told him, like, he's the nicest guy ever. Gotta work.
No, he is the nicest guy ever, but you do have to work, and that's how it should be, and that's why I think Newport's gotten to the point where it has in all regards, especially, you know, Chuck, Mike, Tom, Shannon, everyone at the top of the organization demanding a lot in a fair way, and that's what really brings out the best.
And just like you said, that's how it should be. And once you get here and everyone's working, everyone has fun doing it. It doesn't feel like work.
No, not at all. I mean, just seeing the fact that we got the camera out there in center field to make it look like a real MLB broadcast coming in. I mean, it is. It basically is.
Yeah,
There's no difference.
This is awesome. I mean, like, this is the first time I've been here. This is just it's beautiful.
Yeah.
To be able to call a game here.
Yeah. And it's a ton of fun in the process of doing it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like a day at the ballpark with your friends.
Just need one winning season. I mean, the last two has been tough.
You're the bad luck charm.
I know.
Listen to this. We get you into the booth. The Newport Gulls were destroying Ocean State.
I know.
You come around, and all of a sudden the comeback happens.
know. I mean, it's these rest back chairs. I just get a little comfortable. I don't know. It's just like something about it. But no,
man.
I mean, the last time I was at Cardines was last year. I think it was August 1st. And it was the winner go home game, number 44, last game of the season against Mystic.
The game you almost played in.
Game I almost played in. Thought we had it. I remember Mike Majeski was right here. I thought we had it. We had the lead, and the second baseman made an error. We were able to make some plays. You know, as a broadcaster, you're getting all amped up. You're like, this could be a walk-off opportunity. I see it coming. And then forget who hit the home run, but it opened it wide open. It was probably 3 or 4 runs at that point. I don't remember the exact score, but yeah, it was disappointing, but definitely a lot of fun for it to come down to the last game.
Well, I'll let you off the hook. We held you here for a full inning. I know, like I said, you're a local celebrity here, so you got a lot of rounds to make through to meet everyone else. Say hello. So thank you for joining us here in the booth.
Yeah.
Dave Peck, everybody, former Newport Gold field reporter, but also broadcaster here.
No, thank you guys very much. Enjoy the summer. It's going to be one of the best, if not the best, that you'll have. So enjoy.
It was our pleasure having you here.
Keep doing a great job.
Thank you. This first pitch misses low for ball 4. Ball 1, excuse me, to Sears. 1-0. Second pitch from Ferrer in there for strike 1. So 1-1 count to Sears at the dish. It was good to have Dave in the booth.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Now this 1-1 to Sears, popped behind the screen.
Just like old times.
1-2. And you know what? That was my first time meeting Dave, but it felt like I knew him my whole life. And that just goes to show how good of a guy he is.
The nicest guy in the world. I remember up in the booth last year, in the beginning of the year, we took our first or second home game.
Now this 1-2 is going to be lined back up the middle. James behind the back fields, but can't glove it cleanly, and he's going to boot it towards first base. I think that was a tough play to make. He might have beat it out anyways. But I think single error, I think we're going to rule that an error. Or did you say a single? Excuse me? Oh, error. So E6 on James, we'll give that.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a tough play. It's routine, though, at this point when you're at this level.
You're probably right, yeah.
It's a tough play, but
with his arm, he could have thrown him out.
It's a tough play, but a play that has to be made. And he's going to tell you, I got to make that play.
At the end of the day, at the end of the game, he would say that he has to make that play. As this first pitch to McGillis misses low for ball 1. Excuse me. Justin Walker misses low for ball 1. So McGillis is aboard first. Walker at the plate. Shows bunt. Pulls it back, but it's in there for strike 1.
Yeah, the Waves playing for 1 run right now.
And you can't blame him. I mean, what a comeback they've had. And
no, yeah, they've just been chipping away.
It's now show bunt again, but he pulls it back. Runner takes off for second, but he's in there safely. So now runner in scoring position for the Waves.
I'd still leave the bunt on 2-1 here. You get the top of the order up. You'd have a runner on third with just 1 out. You'd want to bunt it right at the third baseman, Gustin, if you're Justin Walker.
So bunt still may be on. Righty on lefty matchup, and now Ceruto is going to trot on out to the mound. Make sure everything's okay with Fair, the pitcher for the Gulls.
I would imagine they're just reviewing what they're going to do if the ball is hit to them.
Yeah, I imagine so. And defense didn't come in, so I imagine they're all on the same page, although we did see Walker go over to the third base coach for the Waves. Make sure the hitting plan is A-okay. Righty on lefty matchup. Fair looking over at second at McGillis. Now delivers. Bunt is not on as this pitch misses low and away.
It's interesting there. I personally, if I were third base coach Eric Kirschbaum-Bonner, I'd keep the bunt on. I mean, you get a player in Walker who didn't have the greatest year at Indiana. Move the runner over for the top of the order.
And the sac fly at that point would be on, but free swinging is Walker, and he misses for strike 2.
But then again, if you, Fair has not had great command of the zone so far. So if you do walk him, you got first and second with no outs rather than a runner on third. It's the little idiosyncrasies in math that you try to figure out.
Fair steps off the mound and watches McGillis back to the second base bag. So it's a full count to Walker at the dish with runner in scoring position. Goes up 6-5 here in the 8th. Swing and a miss from Walker, though. That will be the first out of the inning. Second strikeout of the day for Fair on the mound. Now we'll bring up the top of the lineup. And Simone, he grounds it back up the middle. And a nice play from James, twisting and turning, and on the spin he throws to first in time for out number 1.
Second time in a row.
Excuse me.
Second time in a row, Simone's grounded out to the shortstop, James. This one a little bit of a fancier play.
Now on the bright side for the Waves, that does move the runner over to third, so 90 feet from scoring. Now you're probably going to send him anyways with 2 outs, unless it was a soft base hit, but now any hit will score him no matter what. So Elijah Dunham settles in for Ocean State. Righty on lefty matchup. First pitch from Fair, misses low and inside for ball 1.
Walked twice on the evening, has Dunham grounded out to second into the pitcher.
Fair looking on. On the 1-0. Misses low for ball 2. Dunham 0 for 2, but like you said, has worked 2 walks in his last 2 plate appearances and did come around to score in the 7th. Now on the 2-0. Fastball misses out. 3-0.
Would you give him the green light here?
You know, this is exactly what I was going to point to. With pitcher struggling with his command, I don't think I would, but I expected Winterode to point for the intentional walk here. He's done that in the past, and so I'm not surprised to see him do it. And now he forces an out at second base. And with Casey Dana at the dish, I assume Fair is going to work lower in the zone, trying to force a ground ball.
I wouldn't have walked him there with Casey Dana up, but
it is a dangerous hitter. But you looked at the averages. Elijah Dunham hit 310 this spring versus Dana's 234.
And Dana will strike out a lot because you'd like to miss contact here if you were Fair.
So now Fair misses for ball 1. Now on the flip side of that, though, Dana has worked 2 walks today and does have a 2 RBI single coming in the 5th. So he has had more success at the plate today with the single, and he did have success last time against Newport. Now this 1-0 is going to be fouled back into the screen. 1-1.
Well, I'd say it's definitely a gamble.
I don't mind it too much from Winterode, though. At least.
No, me neither.
But you're right. I mean, either way, an intentional walk, putting an extra man on the base, especially working through the heart of the lineup, is a gamble. As Fair throws over to first, but sliding back in time is Dunham.
I think almost any other hitter in the lineup, I wouldn't be as opposed to it.
Right. I mean, but working with the 3 and 4 hitters, that's where you might be scratching your head a little bit more. Runner goes for second. Ceruto fakes a throw down, but looks to third and elects to hold on to it. So now Winter Road's strategy doesn't pay off, and there's runners in scoring position on second and third.
I don't think he wanted to take the chance there and throw it over Guston again.
Yeah.
Because that is the tying run there at third base.
And he's already made that mistake, like you alluded to earlier in the game. Now this next pitch to Dana is going to be popped over towards Tours, going into foul territory, settling underneath it for out number 3. So no run score for the Waves in the top of the 8th. Off of no hits as they strand 2, heading into the bottom of the 8th. The Gulls lead 6-5.
Is proud to be the
Bottom of the 8th here in Newport. The Gulls lead the Ocean State Waves 6-5, but with it being the bottom of the 8th, I'm going to send it over to our field reporter, Nick Bello, to fill us on the games around the league. Nick, take it away.
Thank you, Stephen. We have one game already wrapped up. It's Winnipesaukee at Upper Valley, and Upper Valley won that game 10-0. Top 8, New Bedford at Vineyard. Vineyard leads 11-2. North Adams leads Sanford 4-1 in the top of the 9th, and 5-2 Valley in the bottom of the 8th against Vermont. So, Stephen, back to you.
So a couple of good games going on around the NECBL. Vermont leading right now, North Adams leading right now, and the Vineyard leading 11-2 in the top of the 8th.
Couple good games and a couple blowouts, too.
And, of course, now on the mound for Ocean State is a new pitcher.
It'll be Sam Turcott from Stony Brook University, SUNY Stony Brook. This year he's only appeared in one game for the Waves. That was at Martha's Vineyard on the 12th of June. He went 1 inning. He gave up 2 hits, struck out 1 batter, faced 5. So a small sample size for the Waves this evening. He just arrived about a week ago, coming from that regional in Baton Rouge, same as Will McGillis.
So he will face off against the 8-9-1 hitters for the Gulls. First man up for the Gulls is Peter Ceruto, who watches first pitch fastball missed low and away. On the 1-0. Ceruto watches another fastball miss. 2-0. Now on the 2-0. Ceruto pops this one up towards first base. Vargas underneath it for out number 1.
Turcott was an innings eater this year for Stony Brook. He was used their 7th, 8th inning, 6th inning guy, a guy who could just go in and get outs when they needed to. He struggled to do that in the regional, though, against Arizona State and LSU.
Well, he's looking to eat up some innings here for Ocean State as well. At least the last 2 innings. Greg Cavalieri settles in, watches the first pitch breaking ball miss low for ball 1. Looking to close out the game and maybe pick up a win. The way his bats can get going. 1-0 fastball misses outside. 2-0. Is the bottom of the 8th here in Newport. Gulls lead 6-5 over the Waves as this 2-0 breaking ball misses inside. 3-0.
Appeared to be a bit of a slider there from Turcott. Only the second Wave not from the USA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a Toronto native.
Very 3-0 fastballs in there, taking all the way as Cavalieri, 3-1.
Very happy to see the Raptors win last night.
I bet he is.
Now the 3-1 from Turcott, going to be lined out of play along the left field line, off a pole and back into play, but nonetheless, it's still foul, 3-2.
I haven't seen that yet here.
Yeah, that's a first.
Oh, off the pole? No. One time last year, it hit that street light over there, and it actually broke the street light.
Really?
Yeah, it was like down for a couple weeks. Like
really?
So this 3-2 pitch going to be fouled back into the screen. Count remains.
Yeah, like it hit the bulb itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been coming to games here since the Waves were a team, and I haven't seen that yet.
You'll see some wacky things as
Oh
the year
yeah,
goes on. Yeah.
I mean, I've even played here, and it's a wacky field to play at.
Now the 3-2 to Cavalieri. Fastball once again fouled back into the screen, so count remains full.
One time last year, Tim Tower, I believe, put 2 bats into the netting.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. Should have asked Dave about that when he was up there, but I completely forgot about that until you started mentioning all the crazy things that happened.
Now this payoff pitch to Cavalieri. He watches drop out of the zone, so first walk of the day for Sam Turcotte. Puts Cavalieri aboard first with a 1-out walk. So with 1 away and a runner on first, that'll bring up the leadoff man for the Gulls here in the bottom of the 8th, Scott Holzwasser. Holzwasser 2 for 4 on the day with a pair of singles. Big swing and a miss. 0-1. Singled and had an amazing steal in the first. Struck out swinging in the third, singled in the fourth. Flew out in the third. Runner goes for second, and the throw is airmailed in the center field. So safe at second is Greg Cavalieri. No surprise to see Cavalieri going. He's one of the faster, if not the fastest player on the Gulls roster. More surprising was probably Sears' throw into center field. Nearly looked like a line drive off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, he's already thrown out 2 runners on the year, almost at his 3rd tonight. It's unlike him to sail a throw like that.
How this pitch to Holzwasser misses low for ball 2. And Sears actually holds a Division I record for throwing 3 runners out at second in a single game. So he is very excellent at it. So now this 2-1 fastball catches the outside edge, 2-2.
I mean, he is your prototypical defensive catcher. He's not in there to hit 330 and hit it with 15 home runs. He's in there to control the pitching staff, which he's absolutely excellent at. He's caught all but 2 games this year for the Waves.
Cavalieri takes off for third. It's going to be shot back up the middle. Diving play from McGillis. Rounding third is Cavalieri, and safe at first is Holzwasser.
I think if you're the Waves there, you're not completely upset with that play. It certainly saved another run McGillis did. If you get him out, you get him out. But I think the Waves would rather take first and third with 1 out, than a runner on first, a run in, and 1 out.
And it was a nice play from McGillis as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it was still close. Yeah.
It was still close. Saved a run at least for now. Because if that ends up in center field, Cavalieri scores easily. Now this first pitch to Gustin misses low and inside for ball 1.
Yeah, especially with him running on the pitch. He easily scores there.
Gustin on the day, 1 for 4. Singled in the third and came around to score. He's going to dribble this one back up to the pitcher, but they're going to rule it a foul ball off of him for strike 1.
Yeah, that squared him off. That squared him up in the foot there.
There's runners on the corners for the Gulls. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Gustin hot swinging on this 1 run as Holzwasser takes off for second. No throw down, so runners now on second and third for Newport. Time called at home plate from home plate up Will Bowers. Now this 1-2 pitch misses low and in the dirt. Count now 2-2. Gulls lead this game 6-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Have a chance to tack on more. Gustin grounds this one up through the hole in the middle. 1 run will score. Holding at third is Holzwasser as the throw to the plate would have beat him. So runners on the corners once again for the Gulls. Cavalieri scores on the play off the Gustin RBI single up the middle.
Yeah, that one just sneaking through the middle there. If he hits that another foot to his Right, excuse me. That's fielded by McGillis, but that one's just sneaking through the middle, just getting by the dive of McGillis there. It's a gamble with bringing the infield in like that.
Yeah, infield was playing in, so that's why the ball got through so easily. Now they're going to see a meeting at the mound for Ocean State.
Be Dom Grillo going out for a chat with Sam Turcott, as there is stirring in the Waves bullpen.
So score now 7-5. Newport leads in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, that run there is just huge for Newport.
Because now it's not a one-run game, and the strategies changes for Ocean State in the top of the 9th. If they get a runner on, you can't simply bunt him over in the scoring position anymore. You're going to have to start stringing some hits together.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a team that's relied on the home run ball, so I mean, you do get somebody on, but you're going to have 4, 5, 6 up for the Waves, but still, you don't want to have to rely on that home run ball right here.
So with runners on the corners for the Waves, Hudson Haskin is at the dish. Haskin 0 for 4 today. First pitch misses outside, runner takes off for second. Now he's going to be caught in the pickle. Holzwasser thinking about going to the plate, but he doesn't. And out in the pickle is Gustin. So that's a free out that the Gulls just gave up. And that's a pickle play that we've seen other teams run. We've seen Danbury run it before. But Newport didn't execute it. They were thinking about potentially getting Gustin caught in the pickle, wasting time for Holzwasser to come across and score. But Holzwasser did not, as now Haskin flies this one into left, but underneath it is Dunham for out number 3. So the Gulls do plate 1 off of 2 hits as they leave one stranded. Heading into the 9th, they lead 7-5 here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th. Top of the 9th here in Newport. The Gulls lead 7-5, and there is a new pitcher on the mound for Newport. Relieving Cameron Fair is Jimmy Kingsbury. Kingsbury this spring for Villanova is 5-5 with 1 save, had a 4.13 ERA through 85 innings pitched. He gave up 41 runs, 39 of them earned, and had 66 strikeouts to 35 walks. He will be facing off against the 4, 5, 6 hitters as he looks to close out the game and earn a save. Kingsbury did already pitch for the Gulls this summer, earning a save in his only appearance against New Bedford. Pitched 1 inning, gave up a hit, did not give up a run, a walk, but did strike out 3. So all 3 outs were by virtue of a strikeout. Looks like there is a pinch hitter for Ocean State, Dylan Master. First pitch, excuse me, no, Garrett Hodges is still in. First pitch fouled back, 0-1. On deck. Now this 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. Kingsbury looking on, righty on lefty matchup, misses outside, 1-1. Now this 2-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. Check that once again, it's Dylan Morton on deck as we file through our papers and figure out who it is. This 2-2 pitch lined back into the screen.
Yeah, that's my chicken scratch you're reading over there.
That's all right, I don't have much better, so sometimes I can't read my own handwriting.
Yeah, that happened to me in Martha's Vineyard. I was saying the wrong name the whole game because I couldn't read my own writing.
Now the 2-2 from Jimmy Kingsbury. Looking on, righty on lefty matchup. Time called from Hodges at the plate. Kingsbury looking on out of the windup, delivers 2-2 pitch that swung on and missed for strike 3. Kingsbury first of the day. So Kingsbury has gotten 4 outs on the year, all by virtue of the strikeouts. So that will bring up number 21, Dylan Morton. We got it down this time. He's pinch hitting for Nick Elson. Nick Elson was 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, Morton on the year only hitting .095. He's got 2 hits, one of which was
His first pitch to Morton's in there for strike 1.
the grand slam he hit in his first at bat for the first home run of the entire league season. In Danbury, his only other hit was an RBI single. So he does have 5 RBIs in this year. 2 hits have produced runs, so he can give you that quick spark, but it's a matter of actually hitting the ball for Morton as he struck out 6 times to walking just 2.
And there's a swing and a miss here against Kingsbury on a fastball, so now 0-2. Now on the 0-2, it's going to be grounded over to James at short. He fields, throws to first in time for out number 3. Out number 2, excuse me. I'm all over the place.
It's all right. It's
here in the 9th. As Dave Peck said, it's getting late.
Yeah, it's late here in Newport.
So with 2 away here in the top of the 9th, the Gulls leading 7-5. That will bring up Xavier Vargas, left-handed first baseman from the URI. First pitch misses low. 1-0. He's 2 for 4 on the day with a pair of singles in his last 2 at-bats.
If anybody was wondering, the Red Sox so far tonight in Baltimore have hit 6 home runs in 5 innings already.
Not a bad outing so far. It's just 1-0 pitches in there for strike 1.
Not bad at all.
Just got that notification on my phone.
Now on the 1-1. Kingsbury delivers. Line back in to the backstop. 1-2. Is it 6 home runs in 5 innings?
Yeah, through 5 innings in Baltimore.
Baltimore is a hitter-friendly park, so.
It's a hitter-friendly pitching staff, too.
Yeah. Now this 1-2 from Kingsbury. Down to their last strike is the Waves, and they're going to fly this one into foul territory. Gustin couldn't track it down over the shoulder, so we'll go again.
His college teammate Jack Ipson giving him a little chirp for not getting that ball.
So the Gulls 1 strike away from earning their 3rd win of the year to get back to 500.
Now this is something I've noticed with Vargas. He's choking up with 2 strikes. I haven't seen him do that earlier in the year.
Now on the 1-2. It's going to come inside, hit the ground, and bounce into Vargas's shin. And so he is aboard first with a hit by pitch. And that will bring up the tying run at the plate for the Waves, Daniel Sears.
That should be Ian Osberg pinch hitting.
Pinch hitting.
For Sears. Osberg, the Quinnipiac University product from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Ian Osberg actually played in the first game between these 2 squads. Until the 7th inning, he was 0 for 3 in his 3 plate appearances, including a strikeout. Righty on lefty matchup. Gulls up 7-5 here in the 9th. First pitch to Osberg. Going to be grounded up the middle to James. He fields it, steps on the bag himself for out number 3. And that will give the Gulls their 3rd win of the season over the Ocean State Waves by a score of 7-5. We're going to take a quick break, then we're going to come back and recap this one. We're going to take a look at both pitching staffs and take a look at how all these runs got on the board as the Gulls win 7-5. Stick with us as the post-game show comes up next here on the NECBL Broadcast Network. Back here in the booth, Newport just beat the Ocean State Waves by a score of 7-5. Stephen Huff alongside the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, and the field reporter of the Newport Gulls, Nick Bellows. So Starting this game for Newport was Brian Gursky. He went 4 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was not an earned run, while striking out 7 and walking 2. Relieving him and making his Newport debut was Zach Ottinger of West Virginia. He gave up 2 hits, 2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 of them earned, while walking 1 and striking out 2. So not the best outing in his debut. Then Jordan Marks got dinged up a little bit. Cameron Fair came in to pitch, struggled with his control, but then finally Jimmy Kingsbury came in and solved Newport's problems on the mound. Pitched 1 inning, hit 1 batter, but got a strikeout and got those final 3 outs for Newport to end the day and secure the 7-5 victory. On the other side of things, Ocean State, Thad Harris was their starter, went 4 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 5 of them coming in 1 inning in the 3rd inning, including a 2-run home run from Austin James. He struck out 3 while walking none. Then Kyle Brennan came in, pitched 1 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, and didn't walk anyone or strike anyone out. And after that, actually, was smooth sailing. Billy Krager and Sam Turcotte came in. They walked a few, struck out a couple. Nothing to really write home about. Not bad outings from them. It was really just the early runs from Thad Harris that set the Ocean State Waves behind, and it was too little too late as they tried to mount the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, like we touched on earlier in the game, it was just that 1 inning for the Waves that has been really hurting them this year. This game, it happened to be the 3rd. The Gulls sent 8 men to the plate. 5 of them crossed. And then the 1 run scoring in the 4th inning, that run was not given up by Harris, but it was charged to him. And that's kind of the pitcher he is. He was the same way at Winthrop. He had an ERA about 6. He's not afraid to give up runs. He's not afraid to put the ball in play. He's not going to walk guys. He's not going to strike guys out. But with that happening, he's going to give up runs.
So for the Gulls, looking at that big 3rd inning, it started off with a double from Greg Cavalieri and then a single from Jake Gustin. They both came around to score from a 2 RBI double from Colton Bender with 2 strikes. Later, Ryan Tours singled, bringing Colton Bender home, and then Austin James capped off the 5-run inning with a 2-run home run. That really did most of the Gulls' damage. The Waves tacked 1 on in the 4th, then tacked 2 on in the 5th. Newport tacked 1 more on in the bottom of the 5th to take a 6-3 lead. Waves tacked on 2 more in the 6th and the 7th, 1 in each. And then the Newport Gulls tacked on 1 more in the 8th for a security run. It was a back-and-forth game. Ocean State looked impressive out there. Pretty good bats. We highlighted the bats coming into this. If it weren't for Brian Gursky's 7 strikeouts, after that, they started to ding up some of these Gulls relievers.
Yeah, I mean, Gursky pitched excellent. He just threw too many pitches, and once the Waves were able to get into the Gulls bullpen, I mean, they scored 6 runs off them, or 5 runs off them, excuse me. They scored 5 runs off the Gulls bullpen. Like we said, it was just a 5-run 5th inning for the Waves for the Gulls, excuse me, that was able to seal the deal for them. If you take the 3rd inning away, then
it was a pretty even ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
So you could go either way for player of the game. Brian Gursky, the starter for the Gulls, 4 innings pitched, gave up 1 hit, like I said, 1 run. It was not earned, 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. Or Austin James got his bat going, 1 single, 2-run home run, RBI double, and then worked a walk in his final plate appearance. Again, the Gulls just beat the Ocean State Waves 7-5 to take the 2nd game in the Pell Bridge Series. I'm going to let you off the hook here, Tim Joyce, the voice of the Ocean State Waves. Thanks for joining us here at Cardines Field. I'm sure we're going to see you soon.
Definitely. Thank you for having me tonight. It was a pleasure.
For the voice of Tim Joyce, for the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce, thank you for joining us and safe travels back home. I'm going to send it over to Nick Bello, take us around the league, update us on any CBL standings, and then recap the game as I go find tonight's player of the game.
Awesome. Thank you, Steven. So tonight we have a few blowout wins. First being Upper Valley defeating Winnipesaukee 10-0, and the second one is 11-3 win for Vineyard over New Bedford. Another score around that just finished up is North Adams defeating Sanford 5-1, and a game still in progress is Valley and Vermont. Valley leads 5-2 in the top of the 9th. Again, final score here from Newport 7-5. Nick Bell here, and I will be having John Perrick joining me very shortly to fill in some time here before Stephen Huff brings back the player of the game. Take it with the Northern Division leader is still North Adams with a 5-1 win-loss ratio. And for the Southern Division, Danbury still leads, and they're 5-0. Welcoming in John Perrick right now. John, what'd you like from this game tonight from the Gulls?
Well, you know what? Overall, it was a strong performance by Newport, and it was good to be back in the win column, of course, after a tough loss on Wednesday night. But you know what? Getting back in the win column, getting back in the groove of things is always good, and it was good to see a little offense after that was a shortage on Wednesday.
Absolutely, I agree with you. The offense finally coming through is definitely a positive. But, you know, on a night like tonight, Friday night, Cardines is full. People are sitting on roofs to watch this game tonight. And you come through with a big win. How much does that boost your confidence? What does that do for a team?
Well, you've got to hope that it's going to boost their confidence because, of course, it's a long 44-game season, and hopefully it will go a long way. And you hope that the players can start to get more comfortable. Again, they're still starting to move into Newport. They don't really know the city that well. They don't know the town, and they've got to get comfortable. And once they get comfortable, then it's go time. But until then, of course, Mike Coombs used to say that all of June is like preseason. You're kind of getting into it, and then come July, it's the season.
Absolutely, that's almost like the motto here in Newport. No, it's not our first rodeo here in Newport. We know how this works. Chuck Pive even says that. First week of June, first couple of weeks of June is spring training, and then really the regular season starts in July. And I couldn't agree more. This being my second year here, Brian Gursky had a solid pitching performance tonight. No earned runs on 4 innings pitched. What'd you like from him?
Well, you know what? It's control. That's what he showed, and command and control, that's really what you need to be successful at the starting right at the high school level, up to the collegiate level, and into the major leagues. If you've got control, if you've got command, if everything is working for you, then you can go deep into games, and that's how you win baseball games, folks.
Absolutely. And you had Austin James tonight, a homer and a double. This kid absolutely lit it up tonight. So do you think he can continue that momentum going forward?
You know, that's what you hope. And he had 2 shots to left center field. Both, if Cardines Field didn't have extremely high walls, both could have gone over most fences at most parks throughout the NECBL. But you know what? It's good to see kind of an explosion out of the lineup. In Newport, they went up to the early 2-0 lead, and you thought that was the inning, but no. Newport tagged on 2 more in that inning thanks to that 2-run shot.
And we're going to send it down to Stephen Huff, who has the player of the game tonight. Stephen, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. I'm here with the player of the game, Austin James. And Austin, you went 3 for 3 tonight with a walk, home run, a double, 3 RBIs. You did just about everything for the team. What was going right for you?
Well, really, I just wanted to make sure I saw the ball today. So me and the hitting coach talked a little bit about starting slow and early, and started slow and early and started seeing the ball well and just try to put some good swings on it.
So you finally got the bat going, looking good out there. What's the adjustment like using the wooden bat now in the summer league?
With the metal bats, you can kind of get away with swinging outside of the zone, but with these wood bats, they'll make you pay. Your bat's breaking and all that, so trying to get a good pitch to hit is probably the biggest adjustment.
You're looking comfortable out there now. What's it like being in Newport? You liking it so far?
I really do like it. I like how it's a very small town feel, but at the same time has the big town feel. So.
All right. Well, good luck out there the rest of the way, and nice job tonight. Back to you in the studio, Nick.
Thank you there, Steven. Final score again tonight from Newport, 7-5. Gulls defeating the Ocean State Waves. As you can see there, they had Steven just interviewed Austin James tonight, who had a remarkable night, starting off with a home run in the 3rd and then a double later on in the game to really open up the scoring here for the Gulls. And he used to be a player that the Gulls are going to have to look to for a lot of offense this summer, as they've kind of struggled a little bit in the offensive department. Pitching, though, has been consistent, and you saw some more consistency within the pitching department tonight, as Brian Gursky with 4 innings and no earned runs. We're going to send it back down to Steven to wrap things up. Steven, take it away.
So the Gulls came away with a 7-5 victory tonight, and we'll be back in action tomorrow in Danbury against the Danbury Westerners. For tonight, we'd like to thank our executive producer and director, Tom Lima, producer Shannon Carlson, associate producer Rob Sanchez, audio technician Arthur Smith, on-site engineer Zach Letson, social media coordinator John Semino, statistician Michael Garman, field reporter Nick Bello, and the voice of the Ocean State Waves, Tim Joyce. For everyone else, thank you for watching us. I'm Stephen Huff saying good night from the City by the Sea.